Ta-da! Good evening! How are you doing tonight? Right on time, as always. Where am I? Why am I so far to the left? No. No. There we go. Ah! Yet again, it is another Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. I cannot believe that we're actually getting closer to the end. Well, not today yet, I'm guessing, since we're still in chapter 1 of his route, but we're getting there. Kind of stressed this week, but doing fine. Oh no, I hope the stress goes away soon. I'm tired. But it's all well. It could be worse. So that's alright. Are my glasses? No, they're fine, right? Yeah, looks good. Hello, tired. Hello. Good evening. Are you dead? Oh. Well, I know I stopped somewhere in chapter 1 because I wasn't sure for how much longer it would go on. But also I'm thinking it might end in the next few text boxes probably. We shall see. Someone has to make the dad jokes. That is true. I very much appreciate the dad jokes. Don't take my exasperated sighs as a bad thing. Actually, I think that's the best reaction one can get from a good dad joke is when the other party just then you know you did well. Alrighty. What happened? Some weird black hole showed up right in front of the cafe. So now we're scared. That's what happened last time. I don't remember anything else. Ha! The footfalls on the staircase resound and vanish with each step through the room. The hand of the clock is already past 1, but sleep has yet to find me today. Getting into bed and closing my eyes or even putting on sleepwear is too much. I set my feet into the shop thinking I might be able to sleep after having a warm drink. I brew some decaffeinated coffee and after wrapping my hands around the warm and steaming cup. Coffee with the stimulant caffeine removed. It is also called by other terms like caffeine-free or decaf. Yeah, sure. I sit down in Misha's usual chair. Maybe I unconsciously picked that one because I've been thinking about him a lot. Phew. That was way too much too fast. Wanna live here? To ask that. By reflecting on my verbal gaffe, I stare at the surface tension in my cup. Eel doesn't want to go to the heavenly world and just lives here completely, but Canis and Ignis often stay the night if it gets too late. That's why I might have been misunderstanding things a little. This was a place for them to be, but another place was where they were needed most. Misha and everyone, they're all just customers after all. Everyone has their own world to return to. They have lives that I don't know about. Thinking about it again, it's a little sad. As I worry about such things, the bottom of the cup becomes visible. Maybe I'll be able to sleep now. I return behind the counter to clean up after myself. A rather worn old coffee cup at the edge of the shelf catches my eye. This is Mishu's. He said it was really important. Yeah, it looks like it'll break any second.
いわゆるマイカップってやつ？ほら、バーのマイボトルとか、ボーリングのマイボールみたいな。コーヒーマニアを自称する身としては、やっぱりカップにもこだわりたくてね。
For some reason the sound is really low today. At least it feels like it. It looks just like an ordinary mug to me, but is it actually really expensive?
もしそれが割れちゃったら、魔王様の怒りで世界が滅ぶ。
It's just his empty threats. I can't see them as empty threats anymore because we know he has the power. He just jokes around. Sounds fine here. Okay.
なんてことはないけどさ。 でもそれでも俺にとっては大切な
Yeah,
ものなんだ。
there's just no BGM here, I guess. Like, at all? Hello? Seeing how he entrusted such a cherished item to me, that should say how much Misha trusts me at least, but
君の心配は嬉しい。
because we had that sound problem last time as well, for some reason the BGM wasn't
Don't
playing, and I'm
like
not sure if
to
this is how it's supposed to be, that there's no
でも
music, or if something
Demo,
broke
wow.
again.
君に嘘をついてるから。
You're lying to me. What could he mean by lying? Why did Misha make such an agonized face at the time? Such a face was a first for the Demon King, who always wore a smirk. I wonder if the time he'll feel like talking about this will ever come. As I think of this, I extend my hand to the cup and touch it. Then... the sound of something cracking. At first I thought I had cracked the coffee cup, but I was wrong. It wasn't the cup but its surroundings, like before at Amasaki Island, and the other day in front of the shop, the same sudden occurrence. A crack in space. Well, that's not good. I couldn't understand what happened. My body's stuck, I have nowhere to run. Before I knew it, the fissure was in front of my eyes, opening 10 centimeters in width. A strong wind blows from it, brushing against my cheeks. What? Inside the crag, I could faintly see land stretching endlessly. I thought it was a desert for a moment, but what's piled up isn't sand, it's ash. I hate it when I accidentally break space! Oops! At the very least, there's nothing in the area I can see, just dry wind blowing against the land. In the middle of this sad world, I spot a figure. Due to the blowing ash, I can't quite make out the form, but it seems the figure has spotted my existence. Much like a child who had just learned to walk, the young man staggers his way over and approaches. Uh-oh. Hi! Who are you? Well, we have definitely seen the right side of his face before, haven't we? The answer to my question sounded like a groan or a cry. Is he unable to speak? The young man still vibrates his throat, looking at me through the fissure. A high bridge of the nose and beautiful eyes. Hair with some peculiarity. I guess. That form reminds me of someone I know well. So without thinking, Monsieur. When I called this out, oh no! Tears flowed down the young man's cheeks, then... As though tearing at the fissure in space, he suddenly extends an arm. What? Reflexively I take a step back and the arm doesn't reach me, but... He extends his hand toward me again, but he's blocked by the closing fissure. Only his voice slips into the shop and the unknown man vanishes along with the fissure like mist. Ugh. What was that just now? No. Who was he? Okay.
はいはーい、泥海印の届け物っす。人間一丁お待ち。
Why are you in this route?
おお、ドローミくんじゃないか。またホールからベスティアに迷い込んだ人間を見つけたのかい？いつも悪いね。
Oh? Is Dromi doing good in this one?
に連絡して身元紹介の方に回しておくよ。
First I see if this game's so mildly confused. Yeah! To be fair, we are actually in the last route of this game. So a bunch of stuff has already happened. It's gonna be very confusing. How can I explain this to you? We are the owner of a cafe. There are different worlds out there that you can reach through wormholes that have suddenly started popping up even more frequently than before, and also through one specific door that is in our cafe, because that for some reason connects to different worlds. If a person who is from that world touches the door, then it opens to that specific world. And we are on the route of that purple-haired guy who is a demon king, who's apparently lying to us about something or other. And well, also his route will probably contain a bunch of more information about the general world building, because so far we have dated, like in each route, dated one guy. You have not seen any of the other guys yet. We'll be seeing some more of them later on, probably. Actually, the one on the right now, both of them were kind of antagonistic in other routes. So it's interesting to see that in this one they're apparently both doing well.
うちの世界、観光向けじゃないと思うんすけどね。
ああ、それなのだけど、実はベスティアでも人間界でもホールの発生頻度が増えていてね。
If there's anything you don't understand when it comes to it, I'll try my best. Just say the word.
ないのが実情だね。
あ、ホール。
Like the one on the left, he's working with the government agency who's researching non-humans. Every character in this game that is not a human is called a non-human, so the one on the right is a non-human. And they range from everything, like from just beast, men, to angels and demons. Fairies as well, mythological creatures.
念のために上層部にも報告しておこうかな。情報感謝するよ、ドローミ君。じゃ、僕は仕事があるから行くね。
No, Domi, you don't do your weird plan in this route, please. No, you had your chance as an antagonist already. Wait, how many routes ago? 2 routes ago. You don't get to stand in the limelight twice. No, spotlight, not limelight. What?
ミーヤよ、今何と言った？
世界中の一部が枯れました。
Excuse me?
先日突如、小規模なホールが発生したらしい。
Oh, I guess in this route the wormhole that actually opened on Yggdrasil.
何かの間違いではないか？
In the route itself, it barely missed
世界中に何
it.
か異変があれば、わしの実や他の妖精たちが。
残念。いいえ、実に喜ばしいことに事実です。僕も実際に赴いて確認してきましたが、確実に枯れていました。厳密には枯れたというよりも消滅したという方が正しいです。
Maybe what I said last time about Misha's route, just fixing all the problems the other routes has will happen.
ホールの発生を直接目撃した妖精はいないので詳細はわかりません。
Just without the whole we're dating the one guy who then fixes the problem. That's
この世
interesting.
界中が暴れることもなく枯れたというのなら、そんな幸運が突如舞い降りてくるとも思えぬ。
Also kind of suspicious.
そのホールとやら なんとも不気味な気配がするの。
確かに被害はこのまま忌まわしい世界樹だけに留めてほしいものですね。
Like so far we know that the demons want to fall into the human world. Hi!
ご報告いたします。先刻発生したホールにより第12区画の神殿が消滅。
What is going on?
神殿に控えていた3体の天使が消失。回収は不可能かと予測されます。
こちらでも生体反応の完全消失を確認した。該当のホールは現在展開を脅かす例のホール
Maybe it's not
同
actually
一である
fixing
ことは
problems.
間違いないだろう。
To see him talk so openly about the tree industry. Yeah, I mean, if it's just between them, they've always kind of talked about it.
現時点をもってそのホールへの対処を最優先。
Salvation project will be paused.
救済計画の一時中断を決定する。同時に今後の状況によってはリスクを承知で
Yo, if anything
あ
happens
の個体
to
を強制的に
Eel on
回
this
収す
route,
ること
I'm
も
gonna
検討する。
I'm gonna
救済
cry.
計画のためではなく
Oh,
ホールの先にある脅威へと備えるために。
especially because we played
Mikokuro-no-mama.
his route just
我
before,
が神よ。
and he was finally free. I don't really want to see him go back to being an emotionless angel. Well, okay, yeah, 20 minutes, and now it's chapter 2. Okay, that's fair. I guess we could have done it the last time. Rough edges at my fingertips. The surface of this old coffee cup has countless tiny damages. I gently place it on the counter, then return my gaze to everyone.
なるほど。話は分かった。突如生じた空間の亀裂。規模は小さい。
I was kind of
天崎島と同じ現象
suspicious that the fissure would show up inside the cafe when we all know, aha, Misha has some kind of barrier around it. So whoever is doing the wormholes has more power than Misha. Or powers closely resembling Misha's. Yeah, I think it was a little past 2 a.m. The moment I touched this coffee cup, a crack
お
suddenly
前が単
formed.
に寝ぼけてたとかじゃねえのか。
No. Well, I can't rule it out. I was wide awake, so I don't think so. Breakfast time is long past and it's not lunch yet, so there were no orders. After telling the regulars about last night, they make troubled faces in their own ways.
特に妙な力は感じませんね。現に今はこうして触れても何も起こらないようですし。
So all of the 4 guys you saw just now, those we have dated in the other routes. The one on the left right now being the last one. The one on the right before that. The one on the right is a human, the one on the left is an angel, and
一応 GPM でも調べ
I
る
should
ことは
have
できる
said
け
that
ど
when the others.
この
But
カッ
still,
プとあの亀裂に因
the
果関係があ
red-haired
るの
one
は
is a fire wolf, and the one with without the head is a headless rider, a fairy in this game actually.
今 GPM の開発家も微妙に忙しいか
He
ら
just said something that his
調べる
offense
に
is
して
better
も
than defense, so
少し
that is
後回し
true.
になっちゃうかもだけど
Like something about his powers are only good for destroying and not protecting as well. Having them investigated would be plenty. Please ask them, Rindo. I say that, but that's only if Misha, its owner, gives his permission.
で、お前が見た亀裂の先に変な野郎がいたって
That's what I would like to
何なの
know. That's what I want to know. Maybe, actually, I have written the script. I know exactly what happens. No. His aura, it seemed kind of like Misha. The young man and the fisher in the shop. Mysterious crack-like wormholes that appeared at Amasaki Island. For some reason, they start appearing around Enchanté. Putting aside the young man, mysterious man who appeared from a fisher in Enchanté, his face and presence seems to resemble that of Misha's. Well, maybe they're twins. And that's... well... that's either his good or his bad side, who knows? If that abnormal event that occurred near Enchanté seems to have proven not to be a coincidence. Like, this is definitely the guy we keep hearing when Misha goes back to the demon world and we see some confirmed point of view, going, oh, you cannot hear me, ba ba ba. And this is also definitely the hand that showed up in chapter 1. Well, the prologue, I don't like right at the start, that was trying to kind of kill us in our sleep. So I'm not quite sure if I would want to trust them. The unease that Misha had swept away before is now gradually reviving deep inside my chest.
ひとまずはミシェルが来店するのを待とうか。彼に似た青年の話も気になるし。
そのコーヒーカップもミシェルのものと聞いています。何か心当たりがあるかもしれません。
I wonder what would happen if we actually smashed the cup.
今後は我々も彼女の身の安全により気を払うべきだな。
Aren't you always though?
先日の天崎島の件しかり、我らの知らぬところで彼女に何かがあってからでは遅いから。
24/7 someone's looking after me.
だな。その亀裂越しの不審者にも警戒しておくに越したことはね。
Eel upon hearing this.
では、これから毎日誰かしらが彼女の護衛をするのはどうでしょう。
At his suggestion, everyone looks at me in search of something. Huh? My guard?
空間の亀裂やゲートでの事故、不審者の出現。最近、あなたの周りでは何かと妙なことが頻発しています。
That is true.
ですから、しばらくは常に人をつけて不測の事態に備えるのが得策かと。
確かに一理あれ。特に異変が起きやすい夜の護衛が重要となりそうだな。
じゃあ毎晩こいつの部屋の前で何かが起きねえよう見張るっつうのはどうだ。
そうだね。さすがに彼女の室内に一晩中お邪魔するのはあれだし。
Says Rindo, inviting us to his own home, like on the second date. This plan about me is progressing fast. I'm really grateful you all want to help, but staying in front of my room all night, wouldn't you all get tired doing that?
案ずることはない。我ら人外にとって徹夜の一つや二つ、大したことではない。
Staying up for an entire day is already tough for me.
僕もまあそういう訓練を受けてるし、二晩ぐらいは余裕かな。ああ、でも当事者の君はどうかな。もしかしたら落ち着かないかもしれないけど。
It's fine, we'll just cuddle Kororo to sleep. Oh no, I'd actually be thankful. It would be reassuring to know someone is there as I fall asleep. With my agreement, everyone starts working out the details. Oh god, you really think someone is going to just stand there every night? As a result, my guarding will be done in rotation, and everyone decides on what days to take.
では、月曜が我で、火曜が。
Misha won't take charge of any days because he has to leave at midnight.
適当な曜日にでも入れとけよ。嫌とは言わねえだろ。あいつのことだし。
So there would be like several minutes we'd have to be we'd be unguarded. Then, as though he had been listening the whole time, the man in question shows up. Ah, Misha.
お邪魔します。あれ、平日のこの時間から林道がいるとか珍しいね。あ、もしかしてまたなんか変な事件？
I don't know about incidents. Something strange happened last night and I was consulting everyone about it. I wonder what he'll say. When I explain the same thing to Misha as I did to everyone else, Misha picks up the coffee cup in question and looks around on it.
このコーヒーカップについては変なことした覚えないんだけど。
Are you sure?
しかも俺とよく似た相手。
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's all about all though. For a moment I thought the fisher connected to the demon world and Misha would come through.
可能性はあるんじゃない？亀裂の先が魔界だったってオチ。
では、その酷似している相手とはミシェルの兄か弟、あるいは父や息子というの
いやいや、俺兄弟どころか肉親もいないし。
Near the sun is.
他人の空になんじゃねえの。 世間には同じ顔のやつが3人いる。
That is true.
確かそんな言葉があったろ。
That is true. After tilting his head at it multiple times, Misha puts the cup on the table. Seeing his state, it seems he really knows nothing about the existence of this person who resembles him.
そういえばミシェルに似てるというのは実際どこを見て
His
そう
face, I guess. And his clothes. And his aura. Huh? Energy. I guess. He had similar facial features, but the biggest thing was his energy. That's right, a young man's energy, his aura was. We literally just saw that game.
君の心配は嬉しい。それができたらどんなにいいことかって思う。でも
His sad energy, I guess.
君に嘘をついてるから。
I really genuinely cannot tell if the Misha we know means well or not at this point, right? His agony back then, that somewhat lonely feeling was really similar to Misha's energy.
でもできれば見間違いだってほしいよね。ミシェルと似たような存在が増えるとか悪夢以外の何でもないし。
Yeah, I think one Misha is enough.
じゃあ今晩そんな口を滑らせた林道の枕元に
やめてくれる？本当に悪夢にうなされそうだ。
After not having obtained permission from Misha for the GPM to research the cup, Canis resumes the conversation that was interrupted before.
それで彼女を持ち回りで護衛する件だ、ミシェル。先ほども話した通り、
Wednesday.
お前は水曜日の担当で
It is Wednesday right now.
ああ、
俺ら5人で1週間っつうと、うち2人は2日間の担当だろ。
カリアは未成年ゆえ、夜までいられないからな。
Also, having Kadia stand guard if something happens will not be of much help.
私は完全にこちらで生活していますから、週2日担当で構いませんよ。
You guys could just take one day, then someone else, then again someone else, and again someone else, and just go in order.
じゃあ、もう一人はミシェルか。
は？
こいつ、夜は基本帰っちまうし、お前だってたまには遅くまでゆっくり語りてえことぐらいあんじゃねえの。
That's right, but I glance over at Misha and he seemed to be concerned about me too. Our gazes end up crossing, as though trying to make an excuse to speak out quickly. There are times after business hours that I'd like to relax and talk a little more. Misha always leaves at night. I kind of want to talk about more things. He said he couldn't live here, but staying the night sometimes. But at my fleeting little hope.
ごめん。
Yeah, he can't do that. For some reason, he has to go back before the date changes.
護衛の件、俺はちょっと難しい。
Am I overanalyzing every little thing he does? Maybe. What? I wasn't the only one surprised at his answer, and everyone together.
意外だね。彼女のピンチって聞いたら、2つ返事で OK すると思ってたよ。
There is something he does in the demon world
週1か週
that
2
is
程
relying
度
on
融通聞かねえ
him
のか。
doing it like every 24 hours or like before 24 hours are up. And I need to know what.
琴音のそばにいたいよ。けど、どうしても俺が魔界を離れるわけにはいかないんだ。
Considering the invasion on their own the other day, the demon world is a rough place. He can't stay away for an entire day's worth of time. That's right.
では、無理強いはできませんね。ミシェルを除くローテーションを練り直しましょう。
ごめん。
No, it's okay. You have your own position, Misha. You can't help it. I didn't learn my lesson and ran ahead with the conversation again. It was originally about guarding. Maybe I started asking for too much. Still, just a little. I would be lying if I said I didn't have some hope. And at the same time, I just felt lonely. But that's just my selfishness talking. Yeah, I'll be fine. Misha comes to Enchanté every day during the day. Without change, every day my coffee. He drinks it deliciously. Some time passed after that. The final guard rotation was decided. Then that night too, as expected, Misha was to return to the demon world through the gate.
Michelle, あなたの抱える魔王の仕事とやらを私たちにも手伝わせてくれませんか？
どうしたのイル？珍しく見送るなんて言うからついてきてもらったけど。
ふと思ったのです。魔王の業務の負担が減ればあなたも彼女と過ごす時間を増やせるのではと。護衛が不可能な件についてあなたは今までの記録にない残念そうな顔をしていましたから。
見抜かれちゃったか。知らない間に成長したね、イル。でもごめん、どうしてもそれだけはできないんだ。
ミシェル、
俺の分まで彼女のこと頼んだよ。
やはり私たちを信用はしても頼ってはくれないのですね、ミシェル。
Well, 1 week later, thanks to everyone's guarding, nothing strange in particular has occurred around me. The days simply pass in peace. The crows hurry everyone along the road home, and a twilight color stained the station. Because of the conversation the other day, it was decided that I shouldn't go outside by myself even if it was night. Thank you, Kadia, for coming along for my shopping. After explaining the situation, he said he wanted to guard me too. Kadia had volunteered himself and was walking me home from shopping. Baby. I see. How's school been?
普通かな。前は休みがちだったからクラスでちょっと浮いてたけど、アンシャンテに来るようになってからだいぶ体調は安定して前より通えるよう
The
になった。
only people who are happy to go to school are those that are frequently sick for some reason.
改めてクラスメートとちゃんとした友達になれた気がする。
Right then Kadia is about to go into detail about his day at school, the plants by the side of the road begin to rustle and shake. What's that? Is that a cat or something? I'm about to go peek inside when Kadia cuts in front and stops me. His expression is suddenly stern and he glares sharply at the shaking plants. Kadia?
下がって。なんか変な感じがする。
Oh, a strange presence. The strange presence that Kadia sends pushes its way through the brush. Oh! It's you guys again.
スライム多分絶対勝てない。秒で召される自信にあふれてる。
Oh, they boldly show themselves in front of us. Oh, these bouncy buddies that make me think of jelly are... Could you be from back at the warehouse, the slime sent back to the demon world?
そのスライム。
The slimes jiggle and shake, returning what seems to be a nod of agreement. Then Kadia tucks on my sleeve.
このゼリー的な何か。敵なら凍らせて削り倒すけど。
Don't do that. They might look like this, but the demons from the demon world.
じゃあミシェルの部下。
Maybe out of understanding, Kadia relaxes his cautious stance. So what is it this time? Are you plotting an invasion again?
違う。今日は伝書スライム。メッセンジャースライム。
Messenger slime. Messenger?
伝言があるってこと？
そう。あなたを連れてこいって魔王様に言われて呼びに来た。
Ha? Bring me to him. Why so suddenly? Misha came to the shop like normal this morning. Did he go outside?
アンシャンテで会うのじゃダメなわけ。
アンシャンテ？何それ？スライム詳しくは聞いてない。魔王様、昨日今日とずっとあなたの話ばかり。
You know, I have yet another theory.
でも用徹してんのに、あなたがいかに美しいか延々と熱弁振るって。
Maybe Misha is not actually the Demon King. Like, not the Demon King these guys are talking about. Well, at the very least, this is all very suspicious. There's no way Misha would let us come to the demon world. What? Yes, Duolingo. I know I need to do my course today. Thank you very much. What's this? What did they just say? Misha in the demon world to all kinds of people endlessly?
魔王様の熱弁、具体的にはこん
Like,
俺は彼女以上に美しい女性を他に見たことがないよ。でも彼女の魅力は美しさだけじゃない。未成熟な可愛らしさも併せ持っている。その全てが俺の心を独占する。どうしよう。頭から一瞬たりとも彼女の顔が離れてくれない。
Why is he talking like that? Slime's vague reenactment changes into the voice inside of Misha inside my mind. Yeah, inside your mind, but maybe it's not even Misha. What are you saying in the demon world? Also, from what I heard, it sounds like he. They never mention his name in front of Kotona, right? They just say the Demon King.
っていうか大丈夫？顔溶けそうなぐらい真っ赤だけど。
Kadia, look away for just 10 seconds, please. During this time, I pinched myself repeatedly and somehow managed to recompose myself.
それで来る来ないちなみに来ないとスライムめっちゃ困る
Don't. It says we're supposed to say I'll go, but like... Kotona, are you... He's taking the trouble of calling me over to a place outside of Enchanté. Is this something secret? No, it's something suspicious you shouldn't be doing. Could it be? This is about the lie he hinted at before, maybe? Then I have no reason to refuse. I get it, I'll go.
言っとくけど、俺も一緒に行くよ。一応護衛任されてるし。
I like to see what you can do, Kadia. Like, I love you, but also you're a child.
多分大丈夫魔王様からは特に人数制限聞いてないそれじゃあついてきてほしいこっちに転送用の魔法陣がある
By watching the slime spring along to move, me and Kadia follow after them. At least... No, don't do it. This won't end well. There's no way this will end well. As soon as we set foot on the dubious circle, the letters around the circle emit light and it engulfs us. It gave me a feeling like I was floating, similar to going through the gate. In a moment, after my eyes completely white out, they regain their sight. Ah! What gradually comes into focus is a space full of damaged containers piled up like mountains. Huh? This is...
配送庫俺がいたとことは違うみたいだけど
Yeah, this is where the wormhole was. I knew it. This is the warehouse where we first encountered the slimes before, isn't it? I heard that people from GPM would be monitoring for a while, but is it okay to enter on our own? If I recall, back then I encountered the slimes with Misha and Rindo. Time to get shipped off! And at the top of the container... Yeah. Who would have guessed? We heard a loud laugh just like that and... Exactly according to my sense of deja vu. A man leaps from the containers and magnificently lands in front of me again. How did you get back through the wormhole? I thought you dislocated your shoulder the last time.
当然スライムやればできる子スライムたち頑張った褒美を取らせてしかるべき
何こいつなんか人間じゃなさそうだけど
human. Yeah, he's a demon. We met her before, but I look around. The only people in this warehouse are this man and those limes. Where's Mishir, the demon of the hour? Could this man have also received a message from him to come here? Excuse me, where's Mishir? When I'm about to ask. No, 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 no. What? Right. Who is to who? No. After answering each of my questions, he waves his cloak and declares. This guy got flung through the portal at full force last time when he tried to even look at us the wrong way. I don't think this is what... Asmodeus. Yeah, see, he's also a demon king. There's not just one king in the demon world. What? Right? No one ever said that Mishir is the king. Just he is a demon king, one of the strongest demons and non-humans there is. But no one ever said that there was only one. Meanwhile, the voice suddenly echoing through the shop was that of Rindo, tinted with resignation.
Ore? Nani? ひょっとしてまた魔界から魔族がやってきたとか?
正解。そのまさかさ。
Rindo, wearing his contentious heart on his face, walks to Mishi and points to a map displayed on a usual tablet.
さすがに君も忘れてないだろうけど、前回ホールが生じて魔族が現れた臨海倉庫付近。あの時のホールはすでに閉じたけど、その後また近くに別のホールが開いちゃったみたいでね。
それでその魔族とやらが証拠りもなく出てきた。
そういうこと。しかもどうやら前回出てきたのと同じやつららしい。
According to Rindo, the demons are pretty determined for a fight again, and a tightly wound demon man forced the GPM combat team to withdraw. At present, they're monitoring their movements from somewhere not too far.
ミシェル、聞く限りでは魚しきれていないようだが、大丈夫なのか？
つうか説教すんなら手伝うぜ。ま、俺のは肉体言語だけどよ。
うん、ありがとう。けど大丈夫だよ。またホールに押し込んじゃえばそれで。
As though interrupting Mishi's answer, Rindo's smartphone starts vibrating. Rindo scowls a little, then pulls his phone out.
はい、リンド。あ、ちょうど今魔王と話がついてそっちに。え？倉庫内に人間？
The person on the call is barely audible, and Rindo's face grows more and more severe.
どうしました、リンド？何やら難しい顔をしていますが。
その倉庫を監視してた部下からの報告なんだけど。
Oh, this is going to be fun.
その倉庫に人間がいきなり現れたらしい。20歳前後の女性と中学生くらいの少年って。
おい、待て待て。その組み合わせってまさか。
人違いではないのか。二人は駅前に買い物に行ったはずだ。
いる。電話してみてくれる
Il says yes right away and immediately calls the number in his address book, but there's no answer and he hangs up. He then tries to call Kadia, but the same thing happens. The inability to call them both is too coincidental, and auto regulars switch to a sharp air in unison.
人違いであってほしいけど、万が一ってこともあるよね。
ああ、こうしてはいられない。急ぐぞ。
Kanos is
リン
mad.
ド、案内を頼む。
After learning that Cortona could be in danger, there's no room to hesitate, while everyone is hurrying to depart.
今日のリミットは21時。あと3時間。
Ah, Mishi is staring at the clock, lost in thought.
どうしたのです、ミシェル？
はあ？
おい、 まさかまた仕事で行けねえとか抜かすんじゃねえだろうな。
いや、そんなことないよ。大丈夫。
Is it?
まだ余裕はあるはずだ。
So it's not even a date change. It's probably something more like he has 24 hours, and when he does whatever he does in the demon world at like 9 p.m. the day before, then he only has until 9 p.m. the next day. Wisps of dust kick up in the light of dusk. Wisps of dust kick up in the light of dusk. What? Okay. As footsteps resound through the warehouse.
それで彼女は見た限り。
いや、待て。あいつの
Or
匂
are
い
you
は
a
残ってん
dog?
だ。少なくとも
I
ここに
say
来
to
た
the
のはマジ
wolf
だ。
guy. With Ignis' words, everyone looks around then. Reno, looking behind the container, opens his eyes a little wide. No! He goes rushing over and collapses at his destination. Cuddy had tiny wounds all over his body. He gradually regains consciousness after his name was called, and supported by Reno, he slowly stands up.
リンドさん、みんなも。
よかった。そこまでひどい怪我はないみたいだね。
No!
そうだ、琴音は。
カリア、まずは落ち着いて。ここで何があったのか覚えてる限りで構いません。話してもらえますか？
うん。俺たち街中で変なスライムと会って。
While holding his hurting head, Kadia recalls and tells the chain of events leading to his collapse here. The slimes called Kotona out to this place. Then a mysterious demon man tried to abduct her. Kadia naturally fought back, trying to protect her, but
あの変なテンションの男、見た目よりだいぶ強くて、氷の力も使ってみたんだけど、負けちゃったんだ。倒れた俺をかばって、琴音は自分から魔界に行くって。
Uh-oh.
それであの男が
新たに発生したっていう魔界行きのホールから彼女を連れ去ったってこと。
ごめん、みんなからも信頼してもらって護衛を任せてもらったのに。
謝んな。てめえが必死に戦ったのは体の傷を見りゃよくわかる。
幸いホールはまだ閉じていませんから追跡することは可能でしょう。
しかしなぜそのま
because apparently he fell in love at first sight.
それは
Kadia hesitated for a moment, but decided to say it.
魔王、魔界の魔王があいつに惚れて、その婚儀のために連れて行くんだ。
はい。
Time stops. The gazes of all gathered out onto Michio.
何か言い訳はミシェル。
我らに黙っていつの間にそのような企みを。
え、じゃあ待った俺本気で心当たりないよ。仮に企んでたとしてもカリアを傷つけてまで実行するわけないじゃない。
まあだよな。つうことはその魔王はミシェルを名乗る。
Literally no one said Michio.
であれば急ぎ魔界に向かわなければ。彼女
They
がその
only
自称
say
魔王と
Demon
やり
King.
無理やり結婚させられてし
And
まい
this
ま
is
す。
not a case of just the English text only saying Demon King, it's also what they
その
say in
ような愛
Japanese.
のない結婚断じて認められるはずがありません。
Someone here is definitely lying.
リンド、すまぬがお前はここに残り。
Like either Michi is lying about his true status in the demon world, but he is extremely strong, so I don't get it.
もう職員も手配済みだよ。すぐにでも到着すると思う。
To rescue Kotona, everyone makes an instant decision to act, while Il uses his magic to temporarily anchor the wormhole. Lightly brushing his grapes, Kadia stares intently at Michia.
カリア、どうかした？俺に言いたいことがあれば、いや、聞きたいことがあれば、遠慮なく聞いていいんだよ。
But Misha's gentle persuading.
うん、やめとく。今はそんな場合じゃないし。
Kadia quietly shakes his
ミシェ
head.
ルのその顔見たら、なんか変に疑う方がバカらしいと思ったから。
そっか。ありがとう。
何のこと？でも帰ってきたら、琴音にはちゃんと説明してあげて。あの魔族の男が名乗った内容に一番混乱してたみたいだから。
もちろん。ちゃんと伝えるよ。
The warehouse is then filled with light after he confirmed that his magic had secured the wormhole.
さて、魔王としては立場が逆だけど、じゃあ、囚
Yay!
われのお姫様を救うために行くとしようか。魔界アスモディアへ。
Misha's robe flutters as he enters the wormhole connecting to another world. Well, now I'm interested what we will see. In the dark night, devoid of any moon, a worn stone castle rises in the distance. The intimidating throne of the Demon King bears down upon any and all who visit. Oh, the Demon King Castle. The group from Enchanté set foot in the royal castle's western edge. Demon Boat Asmodia. However,
最悪の場合、無人の荒野にでも投げ出されると思っていたからな。そこから敵の所在を探すことを考えれば、拠点と思われる城の中に出られたのはだいぶマシと言えよ。
I still find it so interesting that none of these guys like visited the other's world
広すぎんだろこ
until
の城。
then,
廊下の端が見えねえぞ。
until the events of these games. This game.
捜索には手間がかかりそうだ。
A visual change I did not expect.
一応
Haha!
やはり
true
お前の
forms?
集場所ではないのだろう。
残念だ。
Mishi and Il are the only ones who always walk around.
ってことは、ここは偽物魔王の城ってこと
They normally
か
are.。
道が分からねえのは厄介だな。
Ines just looks like he has a change of clothes, but yeah, Canis is like, boom! I'm in full armor now.
おい、箱入り、そっちはどうだ？探知だとかで琴音の居場所は分かりそうか？
それがこの
Wait,
魔
never
界
mind.
に一
Eel
度ある
obviously also has his wings and
私
true
の
form.
宝術に使用する霊力は
This game would be a blast if I moved to guys.
性質上完璧しないもののようでして
Well, I'm not into guys, so I still think the game is a blast.
どうにもうまく発動しません。彼女が城の中にいることまでは分かりましたが
I mean,
それ以上は
honestly, the romance is pretty minimal in this game. Like,
では、地道に足で
well,
探すしかなかろう。
it's good enough. Like, there have been cases where the romance was really only secondary, even though it was marketed as a romance game. But in this one, I think it's pretty even out. It has a good story and a deep story and a good bunch of romance, but mostly really toward the end of the routes. At Canis' suggestion, everyone nods and they split up to search for Cotone. Canis will search the castles underground, Egan's will search the far eastern edge. Eel will continue trying to use detection from around the outer perimeter and get a better grasp of the whole castle. Misha will search the castle's highest level. According to plan, they begin the search. Left behind, Misha. Excuse me? Changes the look on his face as the sound that reaches his ears. It's strange, the sound of something cracking. It seems to be coming from all places, both outside and inside the castle.
この音、天崎島やアンシャンテの亀裂と同じ。
In that case, the world beyond is...
いや、大丈夫。近づきさえしなければ、俺に大した影響はないはずだ。
With such expectations, Misha searches his pocket, takes out a pocket watch and checks the time shown by the hands.
19時。あと2時間。
Eh? After recognizing the numbers, he's suddenly assaulted by pain in his chest.
おかしい。時間の計算は間違ってないし、普段なら全然まだ余裕があるはず。なんだ
だけど
Perhaps that sound made him lose his composure.
いや大丈夫まだ時間はある
Like shaking off the anxiety, he shakes his head and closes the lid of the pocket
今は
watch.
琴音を助けることが最優先見知らぬ男との結婚なんて彼女が望むはずがないんだから
Well, that's just obvious, isn't it?
当然俺も
I don't think there's a lot of people in the world who would want to marry someone they don't know. If there are any. Blech. Don't do that, my poor heart. This is a romance game, not a horror game. Bong! If I recall, it was when I was in elementary school. The sound of bells announced the time in a beautiful hall adorned with flowers. A memory of my parents bringing me to the wedding ceremony of a relative. Even to me, with a child's mind at the time, the bride was so lovely. I'm a girl too, so I have a little admiration for weddings.
さあさあ見るがいい美しき我が花嫁よ
No, I do, but
ドラゴンから巨人族まで多くの客が訪れても余裕のあるこのいずれはこの場所
no.
お前が俺様と共に座す王の間となるのだ
Get away from
式の準備も万全だすでに全魔族を総動員させて西部の地域に専用の会場を作らせている
In another world I don't know, with a weirdo calling himself the Demon King, I never thought I'd be discussing plans for a wedding ceremony. Wait, please just hold on a second. I still don't understand the situation, so if you could explain it to me a little.
そう照れずともよい。いや照れた顔も美しいな花嫁よ。
Get away from me! I'm not bashful, I'm just confused. Yet still unable to understand my feelings, the self-proclaimed Demon King Asmodeus keeps nodding to himself.
わかるぞ。今人間
No!
いわばマリッジブルーという状態なのだろう
What? From who? With what kind of investigation would he learn such a term? More importantly, why I noticed the first time we met.
ああいやお前が不安になる気持ちはよくわかる
So, no, I'm not late you early. Remember, our time zones are different. But hey, good night, good evening. Hold on, this was the wrong. Wait, I said it the wrong way around. Good evening. How are you?
何しろ庶民の生まれである身でこの魔界の王妃となるのだから
Excuse me. It wasn't a time zone. It was me being dummy. You should have just said it was the time zones. I would have believed you. I think it would have.
だが案ずるな王族の礼儀やしきたりなどこれから学んでいけばいい最も大切なのはお前
No, what if I just don't want to marry you, seeing as I don't even
他のもの
know
など後からおのずとついてくる
you?
も
Blame
のだ
time zones. Aw. This Asmodeus guy is the type of man who doesn't listen to anyone. Man. If I talk about marriage anymore, he'll go further into his own little world. In that case, while holding my head in my mind, I decide to change the topic. Putting that aside, are you sure Kariya's okay?
何度も言っているだろう俺様は約束を守る魔王だ
You just don't seem very trustworthy, you
あの
know?
妖精少年の抵抗がなかなか立派なものだったので俺様もつい熱が入ったがお前がおとなしくついてきた以上それ以上求めることな
Shout out to that guy for having his shirt open until up to no, how do you say this? Under his navel, like that's bold. At his words, I feel a sense of relief. The first time we met, Mishi easily made him into a hole-in-one, so he didn't seem that strong. But after watching him actually fight, this man was far stronger than I expected. Kariya tried to protect me, but he was quickly and easily beaten. Okay, I have another question. Who exactly are you, and why do you want me as your bride? I was brought here without hearing any details at all.
そうかそうか。早くも俺様に興味津々、胸キュンキュンか。では改めて名乗らせてもらおう。
Ah, the way he speaks is so
俺
annoying.
様の名は魔王アスモデウス。お前の運命の伴侶だ。
Like, a
そしてお
character
前を花
talking
嫁
of
に選ん
himself
だ
with
理
an
由は
Ore-sama.
ただ
Oh,
一
hell
つ。
yeah.
美しかったからだ。いわゆる
He's blushing.
というものだな。ああ、改めて言うとちょっ
Oh,
と
oh,
照れ
oh,
る。
oh, 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 ah. Whoops. Hooked my foot into the charging cable. That's not good. That's not good. Nope. Nope.
あの日、あの時。
You saw like a half my face for a few seconds before you were quite literally punched into another world. Okay.
あれ以来お前のことを頭に思い浮かべる日はなかった。先日も夜を通し、お前がいかに
Well, I guess the slimes weren't lying.
四天王たちに熱弁していたほどだ。
But also, who are the big four?
全くもって罪深い女だな。魔王たる俺様を
I'm literally 22. How can I put it? I know I asked for an explanation, but everything is going by so fast my understanding can't keep up. Wait, but an impassioned speech to the big four. First we kill God, then we kill the demon guy, as Moon the ass.
昨日今日とずっとあなたの話ばかり。
Oh man. You know, the original title for the stream was one demon king with a secret, two demon kings with a secret, but then I was thinking, wait, we don't actually have two demon kings. So I changed it to just one demon king with a secret, but I guess we do have two demon kings now.
夕べも用てしてんのに
Damn it.
あなたがいかに美しいか延々と熱弁振るっ
I could have
て
been
た
so big-brained. Don't tell me they meant it wasn't about Misha, but about this man. Yet while I was hearing it, I had such embarrassing imagination. Yeah. By scolding myself in my mind for jumping to conclusions back then, I managed to strain out my voice. Okay, then let's put that aside for now. One more question. What do you mean you're the Demon King? Does Asmodia actually have two Demon Kings? On my question, a look of ecstasy on Asmodeus' face vanishes instantly. Then his face looks utterly confused, as if to say, I do not understand.
何を言っている？
Uh-oh.
古来よりアスモディアの魔王はアスモデウスただ一人だけだぞ。
Well, that makes sense. That actually makes sense. It's called Asmodia, and the Demon King is Asmodeus. What?
無論、常に同一人物というわけではない。俺様も王としては138代目に当たる。
Haha.
魔族の中で最も強い者が代々アスモデウスの名を継ぐ。それが古来よりの慣習だ。
Well, who's Misha then?
俺様の知る限りでは、王が2人以上同時に存在した前例など一度としてないぞ。
Then my voice goes dry.
じゃあ最後は俺かな。魔界アスモディアから来たミシェル・アレックス。見ての通りとっても強い魔王様。よろしくね。
The Demon King Misha, then Demon King Misha Rex, what kind of position does he hold in a demon world?
魔王ミシェル？知らんな。誰だそれは？魔界に住む実力者の名前や歴代の魔王の前の名はすべて記憶しているが俺様はそんな名前など一度も聞いたことがないぞ。
Doubts forming gradually spread through my chest. Then, with such amazing power, always cheerfully smiling, telling somewhat disturbing jokes, but who should be the Demon King? Who is he really? Who are you reading? The figure of Michi I've seen until now suddenly starts to go hazy, but without minding my unrest. Asmodeus, Demon King Asmodeus, approaches me. My thoughts return to reality in the situation I'm in right now. I realize how bad it is.
こうして間近で見れば見るほど、やはりお前は美しい。俺様の隣にはべる花として、これ以上にふさわしいものは他
I mean, Misha definitely has the looks down. Like, they were the same kind of aesthetic, I guess. Like, with the bangles and the funky stuff on the hands and the glove thingies. I forcefully shake my head to keep things from progressing any further. Please wait. I'm thankful for your affection, but you know, it's kind of, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't want to marry you. Besides, we only just met. Suddenly making a marriage proposal is... Without any hesitation, he puts his hand around my waist. The moment I feel the warmth of his palm, an alarm bell goes off in my brain. Let go of me! Without thinking, without any words of respect, I try to resist. No! Get your fucking hands off me. With no consideration of my resistance, he pulls me towards him with his strong arm. Alright, it's time to kill a king! What's his crimes? Put his hands on a lady who didn't want it. Death!
ムクロに変わっても不思議ではない。だからこそ、その時に後悔など生まぬよう。
That sounds like a you problem. His face, his lips draw closer. Ew! Ew, get away! Ew, 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 ew. Ew. No. 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 Like he's teasing so slowly. No, 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 stop! Seeing me desperately twist around, Asmodeus makes a slight frown. Well, listen, even if there isn't another man a favor, maybe giving someone a fucking kiss when they don't want to is, fucking creepy. That's... no clear name emerges, however... For a moment, the figure of a certain young man appears inside my head. Young man! If what Asmodeus said is true, he's no demon king. He's not even a demon. A vague, empty young man who I don't even know the identity of. But... even so! Even if his form is uncertain, until now he's helped me many times. The relaxing time and tones he brought to that shop is our reality. Asmodeus, you won't let me kiss you? Wow, fucking... I don't want to. In a place he doesn't know about. To continue like this and marry this man, not being able to see him at Enchanté, always enjoying my coffee, is something I definitely don't want. The moment... an intense explosion shakes the air and the closed entry door. Yeah! Like a cannonball flying through the air with incredible force striking Asmodeus. He slammed into the wall door and all is buried in a mountain of rubble. Without even looking at the buried Asmodeus, he walks over to me. And to put me at ease, gently draws me close to his body. Uh-huh. Monsieur.
遅くなってごめんことね。ちょっと道が入り組んでたからさ。怖い思いさせちゃったね。でももう大丈夫だから。
入っとった。Yeah, thank you. Sorry, that bottle was a bit. Thank you, Michi.
どういたしまして。 君がピンチならどこの世界にだって必ず駆けつけてみせるよ。なんて夜の護衛を断った俺がカッコつけて言えたきりじゃないけどね。
After checking to make sure I'm not injured, he looks over at the mountain of rubble.
確認する前にぶっ飛ばしたけど、さっきのって前回会った彼だよね。
Yeah, he says he's this world demon king. You know? Yeah, the demon king. He called himself Asmodeus.
そっか。直接会うのは初めてだけど、彼がアスモディアの本当の魔王様か。
You're just gonna come right out and say? Just gloss over it? Be like, yeah, actually I was lying to you the whole time. But really, you mean, I want to believe it wasn't true, but his words basically admitted it. Seeing me swallow my words once again, Misha. This time an apology of different meaning. I'm sure this is part of the lie he mentioned, but... No, it's okay. There are lots of things I want to know and want to ask, but you've come all the way here. Just that, it makes me happy.
待てー。
えい。
貴様ら、この俺様を無視して甘くキラキラとした空気を醸し出すな。
I make sweet and sappy little love scenes wherever I want. Oh.
あれ、思いのほか頑丈だね。ちょっと手加減しすぎ
He
たか
also
な。
has massive hands. Hello?
バカめ。あの程度の攻撃で俺様がダメージを負うはずがあるまい。それより貴様は人間界で俺様に不意打ちを叩き込んでくれた輩だな。
That exact same one.
一度ならず二度までも不意打ちとはこの卑怯者がは
は
卑怯ね。まさか誘拐犯にそんなことを言われるとは思わなかったよ。というかさ、ごちゃごちゃ騒いでるとこ悪いんだけど、
Misha's eyes, despite having no interest in him before, face
彼女を
Asmodeus.
誘拐しただけじゃ飽きなんか部屋の外からさ、よからぬことをしようとしていた声が聞こえてたんだけど。
Ooh. What the fuck? Just from Misha's threatening look, space creaks and the whole castle groans. Before this overwhelming sense, Asmodeus gulps his breath once, then quickly faces boldly up to Misha.
バカ。誘拐ではない。その女はすでに俺様のものだ。
I don't remember agreeing
あ
to
る
that.
べきものをあるべき場所へと移動させただけのこと。なんだおかしいことではない。
I'm not an...
呆れたね。
Hello.
彼女の名前や性格も知らず、女だの物だの、そんな呼び方をしてる時点で魔族以前に男として失格だよ。
黙れ黙れ。名も中身もこれから愛を育みながら知っていけばよいこと。そもそも貴様はこの女の何なのだ。
Why would you say that?
どのような関係だ。まさかこの
I belong to no
お
one.
前のものだとでも言うのか。
Where are your worldviews stuck? At Asmodeus' question, Misha pauses briefly. Then draws me ever closer and starts speaking with weight in each word.
どういう関係かで言えば、喫茶店のマスターと客だね。だけど、俺個人の感情で語るなら、彼女は俺にとって全世界で一番
Aha, through every world out
大
there.
切な女性。
Hey, Misha. Hey, Misha, is there something you haven't told us?
俺にとっての光でぬくもり。居場
I
所とな
don't
ってくれる
believe.
人だ。
I
だから少なくともお前なんかには間違って
think
も
Misha has some kind
渡
of
すわけにはい
powers
かないね。
that he can go outside of the reality we are in. He says it with a cold voice. At his straightforward declaration, I feel my cheeks growing hot. Perhaps because such a straight declaration touched a nerve, Asmodeus' body starts to shake in anger. Like, he can go outside our reality. He can observe other worlds. There's no way he just said that as an offhanded comment. Like, haha, throughout all worlds? Yeah, baby. What other worlds are you seeing? Drink coffee in other worlds, but yeah.
一つだけ分かったことがある。それは貴様が俺様の敵だということだ。
Yeah! When Asmodeus shouts this, something almost unable to be seen seems to start swirling around him.
さて、じゃあお調子者にお灸を据える前に。
The moment Misha snaps his fingers, a pale purple light engulfs me.
これで OK。よっぽどの馬鹿げた攻撃じゃなきゃ、君の身は安全なはずだよ。
I'm calling it out now. Misha.
大丈夫。サクッと片付けちゃうからさ。
Like my theory is there was some original world where we met him. And also that world is where his cracked coffee cup is from. Okay. After smiling to put me at ease, Misha squares off with Asmodeus.
我が花嫁に傷をつけぬよう気遣ったことだけは褒めてやろう。
And like, either we're living in some kind of time loop, or something happened to us in the original world and he's trying to keep us alive. And that's why he has to go back to, well, I don't think he actually goes back to this world, but that other world. And he has to reset the thingy so our reality can keep going or something like that. Like I wouldn't put it above this game. That is something. That is something is doing a weird sound in something crazy like that plot-wise. I mean, we fought God last time. A mechanical god. We fought a mechanical god. Why wouldn't we get time loops or something? Right? Like, it's a good plot. Point. The moment Misha smiles in a taunting way, the collision of two magics shakes the castle itself. Misha seems to be holding back a bit as to not blow away the castle and the surrounding area. When Misha fires purple lightning, Asmodeus meets it with hellfire. When Asmodeus fires ice, Misha deflects it with magic circles. Demon King versus Demon King. I know Misha has his circumstances, but as beings that only one should reign in the world at a time, the showdown battle is appropriate, swiftly reducing the Demon King's castle hold to rubble. I know the barrier is protecting me, but I can't help but flinch at the impacts. Meanwhile, the Demon Kings have enough latitude to smile at each other.
やるな、エセ魔王。口だけの男でもないよう
だ。そっちこそ、廃倉庫で会った時より魔力が増してるね。
当然だ。ここは俺様のホームたる魔王城。パワーと勇気と恋心が100倍となった俺様に怖いものなどほとんどない。
Please just punch him.
少しはあるんだ。その残念な口ぶりさえなければ結構魔王らしいと思うんだけどな。
好きに抜かすがいい。最終的に勝利するのは。
I don't think so. When Asmodeus makes the magic circle appear, a large amount of light collects onto it. Misha seems to realize its power and creates his own large magic circle to oppose it. At the same time, thick bombardments of light fly out and crash into each other head on.
へえ、結構な火力じゃない。けど、その程度なら。I
really thought Eel would just show up in the middle of this fight because of the CG. Possibly to add more magic power, Misha clasps both hands together. Misha's light increases in force and begins to swallow up the attack fired by Asmodeus. The bombardment heads toward Asmodeus, who's lost for words, and hits him. His body's blown away. And yet again, he's slammed into the back of the hole, along with collapsing rubble.
お笑い担当だと思って舐めてたな。広い場所で戦ってたらもう少し長引いてたかも。
Misha brushes off the dust stuck to his robes, and I quietly ask, Did you win?
もちろん大勝利ですとも。
That's good. As far as I can see, Misha has no major injuries. Oh, but what about Asmodeus?
ああ、気絶する程度にしておいたよ。本当はもうちょっとお仕置きしたいところだけどさ。君が見てる前で残酷なことはしたくないし。
Well, thanks.
まあ、このぐらいが妥当でしょ。それよりさっさと帰ろうか。他のみんなも心
Oh, are you
配して
pressed
るだ
for
ろうし。
time for some reason, Misha?
それに実は俺も結構時間の余裕が。
For some reason, Misha's face is a little pale. When he staggers for a moment... Excuse me. Splash. What? Suddenly a dull sound rings out. On the floor of the hole, a red puddle forms. And falling onto it, the pocket watch from Misha's pocket. It shows 20 and makes a small sound as it rolls. Uh-oh. The red color spreads wider. What that represents, the answer is too clear. Misha? Before my eyes from Misha's abdomen, I can see a large amount of blood trickling down. Misha! My voice raises into a scream. Oh, I really thought if it shows 20 as the time that he had maybe miscalculated or something, and he only has until 20 and his body starts disintegrating or something, but it's just him doing a sneak attack. I guess. That's cowardly. Asmodeus had emerged from the rubble and his hand was pointed at Misha.
意外と打たれ強いね。ならこっちだって反撃させてもらうまで。
Keeping to his word, Misha regains his stance and snaps his fingers on both hands. Countless explosions immediately burst out. But not on Asmodeus, on a wall a bit of a distance away from him. Huh? Misha is shocked at his magic missed and snaps his fingers to try again. But this time, they're far from Asmodeus and go in a completely different direction.
くそ、どうなってる？照準が定まらない。
As he says this, Misha falls to one knee and coughs over an immense amount of blood. Misha's confused face, much like when he took the surprise attack, is going really pale. At first, Asmodeus was also surprised by his abnormal state, but... Absolutely not. With a loud laugh, he fires an attack and Misha guards it with a magic shield. From there, the situation quickly reverses.
どうしたエセ魔王。やはりエセだけあってその程度の実力しかないのか。
With each second, Misha's face grows pale and he's forced to focus on defense. Misha!
大丈夫だから、この程度、なんとか持ち直して。
Before I can finish, a sound echoes in our ears.
今のはもし例の亀裂の影響が。
I don't know what's going on here. As though interrupting the battle, the reverberating sound stops Asmodeus cold. As for Misha, the color of blood vanished from his face. As though cutting in between the two of them, Alright, he said something about he's not supposed to get too close to them. So maybe if the fissure shows up this close to him, that's why he's losing power. An enormous fissure in space appears. Could this be... When I think this is Stowe answering. Hi. Why are you half naked? Hello. Half naked guy shows up. My cat also says hello. From the fissure in space, a young man drops into the demon world. Eel. That's not eel. Who are you? The young man's gentle face smiles at me, and then he shifts his gaze to Mishi, who is surprised at his form. Then with dry lips he speaks.
Usotsuki.
A moment. Hello? Not his wound, but Misha grabs his chest in agony. Misha, the anguish on his face isn't even comparable to when he was injured. The more he struggles, the more it hurts. His body twists and creaks, as though something living inside him is trying to tear its way out of his body. This abnormality, Asmodeus completely stops his attacks and is obviously confused. That's what I'd like to know. His gaze is fixed on the suffering Mishi, and his entire body begins to tremble. Asmodeus feels an unknown sense of fear, as though answering. The young man faces Mishi again and... Wow, you can barely see that. Go ahead and show her your true form. You couldn't have chosen any other color for this. Hello! Before my eyes, a storm of ash swirls. The world, the demon world, screams in desperate agony. Literally Kororo. No, first we get another point of view. At the same time, at the place first visited with the wormhole to the human world, after not finding Kotona, all the regulars except Mishi got back together once again.
だよこの城。くっそ広いくせに敵の一匹もいねえ。これじゃあいつの居場所を吐かせることもできねえじゃねえか。
上に向かったミシェルが彼女を発見できているというが。
どうしたよ箱入り。お前なんかさっきから様子がおかしくねえか。
いえ、先ほどから城の内外問わず聞こえる妙な音が気にかかりまして、この音は私の記憶違いでなければ天崎島の。
Then from the distance, from the direction that Misha headed to the upper levels, thunderous sounds of a battle echo out. After this continues shaking the whole castle. Yeah! An intense scream enough to make anyone hearing it feel pain rings out. Their voice just now, before the three open their mouths to say. The ground shakes so violently even they have difficulty remaining standing. With that shaking, a shockwave sent out by that scream. Kane's instinct as a knight clearly tells him a warning to protect his allies from a coming threat. Without waiting for an answer, Canis grabs Ignis and Eel by the arm and forces them to run at full speed. Then all of them together slip into the nearby wormhole. Wait, what? What about me? It's come. It's arrived. Its arm is reaching. The beginning of the end. of all worlds. Excuse me. What? 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 After Mishi's scream and intense shaking me and the tremors have passed, I fearfully open my eyes and what jumps out is... Oh! Nothing but a wasteland. What? In a single moment I had moved to a different place. That's what I thought at first, but...
What
the heck? What's going on? A dumbfounded Asmodeus besides me tells me that my thought was wrong. In other words, in that moment, our surroundings, including the castle, have been reduced to this wasteland. That's the most likely situation. Taking a closer look at my feet, the marble of the castle or something close to it remains in a circle. It's as though that some mysterious calamity had spared us. But the scenery, it's similar to the world with the mysterious man? I look around, but there's no sight of him. However, in his place, beyond the raging storm of ash, simply existing here, there's something that even ate away the world. Oh, hi! It was present. Running through skin like hardened darkness, bulging veins and bone like muscles. With a sinister face and twisted horns. Something like remains of demon wings with only bones left swaying in the wind. Accidentally started the thought effect. An entire body, whether human or non-human. I'm sorry, Kotone. Are you trying to tell me that this body resembles a human? It's a mass of overwhelming power that strikes fear into all. Sounds like Shiro Akashio. Standing next to me, Asmodeus steps forward. Shielding me, he faces the figure that suddenly appeared. Okay.
貴様が何者でも構わん。俺様にとって確かなことは、この魔界を害した貴様が万死に値するということだけだ。
The moment Asmodeus kicks the ground, it pulsates. Much like a volcanic explosion, dark flame surges towards the strange figure. However, even seeing that hellfire, the strange figure doesn't move. If you ask why, just before the flame hits him... Oh. It all turns to ash and crumbles away. The moment he recognizes this sight, Asmodeus' expression changes.
動くな、我が花嫁よ。ここは一旦撤退する。
Wait, you say retreat, but I don't want to go with...
もはやこの状況では敵も味方も嫁も婿も関係ない。
I guess.
あの異形の恐ろしさ、お前も目の当たりにしただろう。あの妙な配下の力をお前に向けられては。
Faster than Asmodeus can finish speaking, along with dry wind blowing past his right arm holding me. No! Scatters away. What? Before my eyes it turns into ash. With an invisible force, he's blown away like chaff. Before I know it, part of his leg also crumbles away, then he loses consciousness. Hey, yo! Like, I didn't want to marry him, but like... Don't kill him? Don't erase him from existence, maybe? The strange figure is staring at me. During this time, the few remnants of the castle surround me. As though submitting to him, they turn into ash and disappear. If I had to describe this sight, it was utter ruination. The end of the world, that's what is spreading around me. I keep still, and the young man only continues to stare at me. A young man? Huh? Why am I calling him that? Right as I begin to doubt myself, the area of the strange figure's ruination approaches at the same time. He shouldn't have a facial expression, yet still his strained breathing and the color deep in his eyes.
君の心配は嬉しい。それができたらどんなにいいことだ。でも 嘘をついてるから。
Overlaps with that voice and figure. Monsieur. You're Monsieur, aren't you? My question, the strange figure.
そこは気づかないで欲しかった。
He answers me. I knew it, Monsieur. Despite changing to an unknown form, I instinctively try to approach Monsieur. His desperate voice, I restrain myself.
近づいちゃダメだ。君を殺したくない。
What do you mean?
見ての通りだよ。これが俺の本当の姿で。
Kinky, I guess.
本当の力なんだ。
But I know at least one person who would be into this kind of design. Magic and magic power in the end were only extra to him, Misha explains with a hoarse voice.
今でこそなんとか力を抑えているけれど、人も物も世界すらもこの姿の俺に近づくものは全てが灰に変える。それが俺の力なんだ。
Well, that's not nice.
だから君もこれ以上俺に近づけば。
I'll turn to ash, like Asmodeus' arm in the vanished castle?
俺の力はホールには影響しないはずだから、まだどこかに残ってるはず。
So what, you want me to go and forget about you? Is that it? Huh?
君はそのまま人間界に戻ってる。
What about you, Misha? When I try to stop him, rejecting me, Misha creates
自分の
distance.
世界に戻るよ。この力を抑えるには
Ah.
時間が。
After saying only this, Misha takes flight and throws himself through the fissure that young man came through. I'm left stunned and able to turn away until the very end. All that remained, swaying in the wind, was nothing but a wasteland of ash. Okay. Katona just goes to the cafe and then comes back with a coffee. Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised. Oh, we get his point of view. Okay. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if the next chapter would have just started with Kotone being back in the cafe and everyone else like, how are you? Are you good? And we're just like, Strangely shaped arms, strangely shaped legs, strangely shaped bodies. Please stop putting strangely shaped after each other. I have trouble pronouncing a bunch of S sounds in a row. I slowly set foot into the fissure that formed in space as though thrown open. Just like traveling through the gate, moving between worlds feels like floating. I lower my foot with a tinge of unease, not knowing if there really be ground below then. The sensation of dry ash. Strangely shaped words, yeah. Beyond the fissure in space that opened for some reason during my rampage, stretching far and wide a scenery that I'm used to seeing. I'm tired of it. I look at my ominous palms and mutter in self-depreciation. What an ugly form. Despite being used to it, I think this every time I see myself. No matter how accustomed she is to the existence of non-humans, this strangely shaped form and seeing the power of ruination I spread. Is ruination a real word? I've never seen that before. Of course she would think nothing of it. Exposed to the rough air, I slowly begin to walk. If the air in the demon world I came from is like a gloomy and stagnant swamp, the air in this world is like an arid desert that exists to torment people. It's as though even this sad feeling I have will dry up and scatter away.
この嘘がバレるなんて思ってなかった。俺はコーヒーが大好きな魔王様で、時々物騒なことを言いながら常連のみんなと あの店でダメって
You don't have an inside voice, do
彼
you?
女が働くのを見守りながら入れてもらったコーヒーを味わう。それだけで俺にはそれすらもできないのか。
Spreading before my eyes are nothing but countless little hills where ashes piled up a bit more. In this world, over the span of tens of thousands of years, the countless people I cared for, the countless graveyards of sentiment. Thousands upon thousands, far too many to count those depressing grave markers of ash. That's right. In the end, this is the only place I belong. No matter what masks I wear, no matter what falsehood I use to deceive, lies are always found out eventually. Excuse me? Hello? After the incident where I was carried off to the demon world by the demon king called Asmodeus, having taken refuge in a wormhole just before the demon world was reduced to waste, Canis and everyone came back to find me. Me and a captured Asmodeus were brought back to the human world. There to greet us in our confusion were Rindo and his GPM subordinates. At the time my head was too full. I don't even remember how I explained it all to Rindo, Canis and everyone else. For the time being, after handing over Asmodeus and arresting him under kidnapping charges. They actually arrested him? Okay. We all stayed at an inn for the night. The next morning at GPM headquarters.
結論から言わせてもらうよ。やっぱり魔界アスモディアと魔王ミシェルに接点は存在しない。
The words Reno bluntly said rang especially loud in the morning silence.
その話、間違いねえんだな。残念ながら裏付けも取れているよ。
拘束したアスモデウスと生き残っていたらしい部下の魔族を昨べの
Excuse me?
何度も言わせるな人間ども。アスモディアに君臨する魔王はこの魔王アスモデウスただ一人。ミシェルなど聞いたこともない。というかまずはこの拘束を外せ。
とまあそんな感じでさ。
According to Reno, Asmodeus had great luck in escaping the worst trouble. To prepare the ceremony with me, he had gathered all the demons in a planned venue out in the countryside. That ashen power of Misha seems to have stopped after destroying only half of the demon world. The place the demons had gathered happened to be in the remaining half. Thus, his subordinates and other demons avoided succumbing to their destructive power. They all managed to survive. By the way, the armored like Asmodeus himself lost where he formed his magic power. Well, good. Okay. That's good. There were no deaths in that incident. In that sense, I think from my heart that it's a relief. But in the end...
偽の魔王はミシェルの方で、彼、アスモデウスこそが本物だったってわ。
それどころか、ミシェルは魔族ですらない可能性。いえ、正体が知れぬ存在に。
Misha himself even admitted that Asmodeus is the real Demon King. Asmodeus, the real Demon King who rules the demon world, a high-tension man who fell for the heroine at first sight and tried to make her his bride. That's why I can't even object to what Eel said when we were confirming the facts. But first exactly what world is Misha from? I want to know that.
なの、本人の口から聞くしかねえだろ。それが一番手っ取り早い。
The Ignis cuts off in an awkward way. I'm about to ask what's wrong, but I understand the meaning of that silence. I see. Who knows if you can even see Misha?
ミシェルが今後店に来るなら、その時に聞けばいい。だが、
Well, I don't think he's coming back.
彼が本当の姿や力のことをあなたに知られたことを
Like, I highly doubt he would.
アンシャンテに二度と来なくなったとしたら。
ああ、ここに彼と同じ世界の出身者がいない以上、彼のいる場所にゲートはつなげない。そうなれば当然、ミシェル・アレックスという彼に近づくための術は一切なくなってしまうだろうね。
I never even imagined that possibility since he had been coming to enchant every day until now. If the demon world in his position he spoke of was all a ruse, We've never had a single connection to him or his world, right from the beginning. You still have his cup. If that counts for anything.
ああ、追い打ちをかけるようで、ちょっと申し訳ないのだけどね。
Mikado meekly raises a hand.
ミシェル君が異形になった時刻に、魔界だけではなく、人間界全体にも同時に激しい地震が発生したんだよ。
The entire human world, really? Could that be like when the fissure opened up in front of Enchanté, like the shaking of the world itself?
幸い、魔界みたいな大災害は起きなかったけど、あれからどうにもホールの発生頻度も増えていてね。
No, that's not good.
タイミング的にも無関係とは思えないから、しばらくは不測の事態にも備えないと。
Like, I just like to remind you all that we are only in chapter 3 and Misha's rule has 6 chapters. Unlike all of the others who only had 4 chapters. So I think we still have a bunch to go. I'm sorry for saying it in a way suspecting Misha. Subduing his usual eccentricity, Mikado apologizes to me and I couldn't complain. We all quietly leave the GPM. Getting into a car procured first by Rindu, I absent-mindedly stare out at the city road. It still has no sense of reality. Almost everything he said was painted over with falsehoods. He's lacking coffee. He's being the strongest demon king from the demon world who likes teasing people. The form of the person who I looked at and talked with like normal until now. His self-proclaimed status as a demon king or even being a demon was all a lie. His true identity is that he is a man of much mystery who took on an abnormal form and wields the power to turn his surroundings into ash. It now seems far away and uncertain. After getting home, maybe Misha will have come back with the usual nonchalant look on his face. Such positive thinking by us was all in vain. As expected, no sight of Misha at the shop. After returning to Enchanté, I didn't feel like doing anything at all, and when the evening came, I went right to sleep. Then the next morning, what woke me up was what seemed like a small shaking on my shoulder. That's not a small shaking! Another earthquake! Baby! Kororo also woke up in surprise, snuggling up against me and trembling. I hold Kororo, protecting, and wait for the shaking to settle. A few minutes later the shaking stopped. The scale was small, but it's after the incident happened. According to Mikado, the earthquakes and wormholes occurring in various places are unrelated. I can't help but put myself on guard. Wormholes, huh? The shape is strange, so fissures in space. We were calling them something like that, but the fissure that opened in the demon world was also just another kind of wormhole. So beyond them there should be another world. I wonder what world Misha returned to through there. I mean, you could go and find out. The chances of us dying if we were to go through them are really high, but we could go and find out. Probably. It's been one night since then, but I wonder if you'll come to the shop today. I'm also curious if anything broke during that earthquake just now. To be ready to make coffee whenever Misha comes back. Yeah, I'll run the shop like normal today. Right, like after every other traumatizing event you suffer through in this game, you just keep running the shop. To make preparations, I changed my clothes and head downstairs. Huh? There, alone, sitting in a chair closest to the room at the gate, I find Eel. Eel, what's wrong? When I call to him, Eel slowly raises his head. Oh no, baby.
彼が来たら真っ先にあなたへ知らせようと思いまして。
He speaks softly to me, and in front of him is a game console with an otome game set inside, but he isn't playing it. He just sits there with it on the table. How long could he have been waiting here for Misha to come? Can run from your responsibilities if you run your shop. Eel, it's still early in the morning. I think Misha usually comes a while later. So how about I bring something to drink out and we can drink together while waiting? Eel nods in silence and still seems somewhat sad. Afterwards, I had an espresso. Eel drank a coffee float, while the two of us quietly waiting to hear the sound of the gate. However, even long after the time he usually comes to visit, there was no cheerful doorbell sound announcing the Demon King's visit. The more time passes, the gloomier me and Eel's expressions become. Eel, that Otome game, you're not going to play? Asks a question to change the mood, but Eel shakes his head.
これはプレイするためではなく、ミシェルに見せるために持ってきたのです。
ミシェル？
ちょうど今朝、記憶、夢に見て思い出しまして。この乙女ゲームは初めて出会った頃にミシェルが私に買ってくれた作品のリメイクなのです。当時のことははっきり覚えていませんが、彼が来たらこれを見せて何か思い出話でも。
It's the one where you got your personality from. I see. Eel, you must get along especially well with Mishi. I often see you two together.
初めて会った時からなんだか放っておけないと何かと気を使ってもらいました。
I kind of get it. Mishi he feels kind of like your older brother. He's usually carefree about everything, but he seems to like to care for people or talk to them with no discrimination.
本当に分け隔てなくでしょうか。
Huh? When Eel spills these words, my hand freezes as I was about to drink my espresso.
あ、いえ、悪い意味ではなく、私自身も適切な表現を探すことができないのですが、ミシェルがあなただけに送る微笑みは私が有する知識と記録の中で
Why would you say that?
美しいものだと。そう、私はアンシャンテでそんな二人の姿を見ているのが何より好きなのです。
Is that so? With what kind of feeling? I don't know what Eel means by this special kind of smile, but if I had to guess, it must be because I'm the owner of this place. And also...
もう二度とないかもと思っていたのに、本当にこんな日が来てくれるなんて。
When I was little, maybe he's being nice because we met before? The moment I say this, Eel raises his head with a questioning look.
少期にあなたと開口したことがある。
Huh? Yeah.
最も小さかった君は覚えてないかもしれないけどね。
Maybe not in this world. Wait, did I meet you at some point in the past, Misha?
ほんの短い時間だったからね。覚えてないのも無理はないよ。
I think Misha said something like that.
それは明らかに矛盾していますね。
An inconsistency. Eel nods and starts explaining while looking towards the gate with a troubled expression. According to Eel, the order that the regular customers of Enchanté first came to the shop is first the longest-serving member Canis, followed by Eel, then Mishir. After a long gap of time shortly before the collision with the GPM, it seems Ignis came to the shop.
私は今朝夢に見るまでミシェルと自分の初来店順を誤って逆だと認識していたのです。
Something's not adding up. Eel also mentions it's likely the same as Canis, who isn't present right now. Wait, the reverse? In other words, Misha first came to the shop after Eel. That's the correct order. Eel first came to the shop after Misha. That's what he believed? How could you have that misunderstanding? That's because, saying this, Eel continues his story with mixed feelings. According to what he remembered this morning, in reality for a while after first coming to the shop, he had been unwell under the effect of the air in this world. He wasn't used to it. Grandpa was looking after him and he was asleep in an empty room. Then Misha made his first visit around that time. After Eel's condition improved, they were introduced, it seems. Yeah, we know that from Eel's route. Canis was absent at the time and he had forgotten most of his memories during his time asleep. Seeing how accustomed Misha was to being at Enchanté by then, he was mistaken as the senior who came to the shop first. In other words, the reverse order. Until now, he himself and those around had believed that. Ahaha, maybe the reality Misha had set up is crumbling. Well, maybe I'm also completely off and I'm just talking complete bull right now. I don't know. So that's how it happened. But why do you sense that as an inconsistency? How do you pronounce
私が来
it?
店したとほぼ同時に孫娘、あなたはアンシャンテを去ったとソーアンから聞いていました。ではその後に初来店したはずのミシェルはなぜあなたと会ったことがあるとそう告げたのでしょう。
Well, maybe he didn't meet us at Enchanté. No, that doesn't make sense. So, huh? When he puts it that way, there does seem to be a huge disconnect. After that, I didn't visit Grandpa's shop even once. What could this mean?
確信も根拠もありませんが、もしやあなたとミシェルの間には私たちの知らないまた別の接点があったのかもしれませんね。
We won't know that unless Misha comes back. Each spot ends up being in vain. Even past closing time, Misha didn't come to the shop. Misha had come to Enchanté every single day before. He didn't visit the day after or the next. I still can't believe this is real. I end up spacing out. No matter what I think about, all that comes up in my head is the rear view of Misha as he left me. When will he get to the shop? More importantly, will he ever come at all? This is all I think about. I can't help but feel distracted and I can't do my work properly. For now, I should rest my body and mind. I decide to close business for today. However, I can calm down if I'm not doing anything. In the end, I descend down to the shop to try and clean in the name of rest. To vent the place out, I approach the window. I hear what seems to be talking from the room with the gate. I get curious and when I peek inside, Ignis and Canis are looking at the gate with serious faces. Naturally, as long as no customers visit, the gate doorbell won't ring. Ignis, Canis. When I call to them, the two turn around.
Oh, どうしたよ?
I could be asking you the same thing right now. What are you two doing? Going back to your worlds? It doesn't seem like it.
少々ゲートへ試そうとしていたことがあってな。
Tess?
数打ち当たる作戦だ。今からとにかくこのゲートを適当に開きまくる。そしたら繋がるかもしれねえだろ。
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. What? Maybe it would end up connecting to Misha's world. The gate connection should be limited to the world the person who opens it is from. They've used it over and over now. They should know that better than anyone, but...
可能性はゼロではない。
Is it?
何しろこのゲート自体が仕組みがよく分かっていない代物だ。現にあなたも前に事故で飛ばされている。
I guess.
何十回でも何百回でも開いているうちに偶然あいつの世界に繋がるかもしれねえだろ。
Imagine it would really just change what world it opens to. Like someone standing in Beastia right next to the gate or in Medio, and like the door just keeps opening and then they look inside and see us on the other side and then we close it and open and close and open and close. And so poor fairy on it is just like, what the fuck is going on?
まあ、そういうわけでな。我らなりにできること
Or
をしてみ
imagine
よう。
they're so concentrated on opening it as fast as possible they accidentally skip. Like they actually get it open to Mishi's world and he's on the other side like but only for a split second because they accidentally close it again immediately. That's right. Instead of doing nothing, that's far more constructive. Thanks, you two.
成功もしていないのに礼を言うのはいささか気が
What
早い。
happens if a human opens the door? I don't remember. Well, the only human who ever opened it was us. When we were kind of mind controlled and then we landed at Amazaki Island, so I'm not sure that counts. We don't have any other humans who have ever opened it to see what would happen.
よし、じゃあ早速一発目いくか。これでダメなら次はお前が試してみろよ。
Maybe to put some life into it, Ignis unleashes a sharp kick into the gate to forcefully open it.
じゃあっす。久しぶりにお邪魔するっす。兄貴に用があるんすけ。
Perfect timing. Jerome comes to visit the shop and it lands cleanly in his gut. He slams into the door, slumps over, and goes unconscious, foaming at the mouth, as though trying to land a finishing blow.
失礼。こちらにうちの首なし騎士がお邪魔。
On his first visit to Enchanté, the surprising guest from the fairy world puts a forceful step onto their body.
俺の体内のあれやこれやが全部口から飛び出すかと思った。
You know, there's trying to open the door and there's kicking open the door. There's a difference, Ignis. This time he had no fault, it was just an unfortunate accident. Even Ignis, the one who unleashed the impressive kick, gave an honest apology to Dromi. Although if I had to say, the more surprising one is the other guest. And once again!
それで一体どうしたというのだ、ベンニーヤ。確かにゲートの位置は教えていたが、お前が女王のそばを離れ。
僕とて好きで陛下のそばを離れたわけではありません。
Of course not. Vinia gives Canis a stern look.
先日からメディオにホール関連で大きな異変が起きた。
That's probably what Dromi is going to talk about as well. Like we saw that it happened in all the worlds.
対処を促すためにわざわざ僕が迎えに来たのですよ。
異変だと？
え？先日からって、もしかしてそこの妖精さんが言ってるの？
Still holding his stomach, Dromi raises his head and speaks to Vinia, someone he's just meeting for the first
発
time.
生した場所を丸ごと消しちゃうおっかない変な空間の亀裂のことっすか？
Vinia also has fangs. I adore that all of them have fangs. Wait, fishes.
ええ、その通りですが、なぜあなたがそのこと？
なぜも何もベスティアの方でも夕べから同じ亀裂がバキバキ起きてるからっすよ。
Haha, what a coincidence! At the story established between the two, Canis and Ignis stand up from their seats.
空間の亀裂だと？魔界で開いたという。
おいドロミ、それどういうことだ？洗いざらい詳しく話しやがれ。
揺らさないでほしいっす。もう
どうやら僕の方も彼と話を合わせながら情報を共有した方が良さそうですね。
I take back my fixing problems of the other world from earlier. According to the two, around the time Canis and Ignis stopped returning to their worlds to guard me, in each world small-scale wormholes started to occur more than usual. However, that was all. They just needed to not get sucked in. A simple coincidence. It could be settled with a short line like that. But last night everything changed. When the Fire Nation attacked! According to Dromi, who had a grasp of time in the human world in his testimony. At the same time that Misha took that form in the demon world, destroyed it and space was torn in the sky, an earthquake occurred like the human world, but it was even worse. In both Meteor and Bestias, the normal seeming wormholes changed into giant fissures in space. As though sucking it in, everything around where they occurred was annihilated. Well, that's not good. There's fissures in other worlds too. And unlike the time at Amazaki Island, they annihilated the surroundings.
俺も噂を聞いて、アルムムの縄張りの跡地がきれいさっぱり消えてるのを見に行ったっす。
That's not good. It even gave me chills. Dromi says this and holds his own shoulders. You're not.
の方では以前から亀裂にこそなっていませんでしたが、前兆のようなものが起きていました。
I have to settle down my anger I feel toward Dromi because he's not actually doing what he does in the other route, so he's fine.
それについて調査を進めるうちに、僕は亀裂が発生する瞬間を直に目撃しまして、発生した亀裂により世界樹の橋がえぐられるように消滅。本来世界樹は 恐ろしいほどの生命力と再生力を持っているのですが、不可解なことにえぐられた部分はまるで壊死したかのように再生もされず。
After hearing the two testimonies, we all look each other in the face. Hey, Vinny, about the fissure in space you saw, did anything around or inside it leave an impression, or did anything look strange?
印象に残るもの。そうですね。言われてみれば、確か白い砂のようなものが一瞬だけ周囲に舞ったよ
うな。White sand? Are you sure it wasn't ash?
ああ、確かに。そうかもしれませんね。
それはまるで琴音から聞いた異なる姿のミシェルが用いたという周囲を灰と化す能力を彷彿させるな。
Then
自分の世界に戻るよ。この力を抑えるには時間がかかるから。
The funky music does not fit the general mood we have right now. Everything beyond those fissures, could that be the world Mishi is in?
どう考えても偶然じゃねえな。てっきり異変が起き始めたのは人間界だけだと思ってたが。
今この3世界、いや、あらゆる世界を含めて一体何が起きているのか。
兄貴。
When English starts pondering, Dromir hangs his
そ
head
っ
a
ちの
little.
事情も聞いた感じ結構深刻かもしれないっすけど、できればしばらくこっちに戻ってきてくれないっすか？あの亀裂のせいで今のベスティアちょっとしたパニック状態なんすよ。
パニック
Enough to make killing each other a secondary issue, Dromir speaks of the confusion over there.
だからどうにか魔獣たちを冷静にさせてほしいっす。もちろん物理的にっていいんで。
As though jumping on this opportunity, Vinny also speaks to Canis, or more like throws instructions at him.
カヌス、あなたもメディオに帰還を。こちらも相次ぐ亀裂の発生を極めて危険な脅威だと受け止めています。具体的にどう対処するのかはこれから決めていくことになりますが、本来のあなたの役目はメディオの守護。
The two of them look at me in silence and hesitate a moment. I take a guess at the meaning of their gazes. I'll be okay, but I'm sure you two are really worried about Bishia too. I'm sure he would be mad if he knew you ignored the dangers in your homeland.
だろうな。くそ、歯がゆいもんだぜ。次から次へと厄介事が起きやがる。
だがここは彼女の言葉に甘えるべきだろう。それにそれぞれの世界に帰還したからといってミシェルの件を放置することにはならん。
No one said that.
だな。むしろ戻った方が進展があるかもしれない。
Also, you can investigate the fissures, so maybe you'll find out something more about that world.
あっちで亀裂が発生したらあいつの姿が見えねえ。
Yeah!
どうにか中を確認してみるぜ。
Or try throwing stuff through there. See what happens to it. Thanks, but don't do anything dangerous. The two nod firmly at the same time. Right, they would never do anything dangerous, Kotona. Why would you think that? Afterwards, after telling Reno and everyone on my smartphone about the anomalies in Meteor and Beastia, Canis and Ignis returned to their own worlds to start investigating and dealing with the fissures. Right now, it seems Reno is also busy investigating the earthquakes occurring in the human world. Due to this, guarding me at night is entirely on Eel. Ah, you think God will show up and actually take Eel back in this route as well? Like, hey, yo, you need to save us. The theft of those fissures even happening in other worlds. Dangerous wormholes that scatter ash and attempt to swallow and annihilate the surrounding area. They all seem to be connected to Mishia's world. Despite maybe holding the key to get Mishia yet again today, didn't come to the shop. These guys have a collective 2.5 brain cells between them. Absolutely, and not a single one more. Several days passed after that. Like, everything else is muscle mass and magic. But brain cells? None. 0. I did them. Okay, hold on. Even after Ignis and Canis returned to their homelands, with no change, Misha didn't come. Heads empty, no thoughts. I mean, Canis doesn't even have a head, so... Only the anomalies we call earthquakes continue to pass. The one who would always come to this shop every day to deliciously drink coffee, who would talk casually, watching over my development, not seeing him for all this time really is sad. Really is sad. Dun, 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 dun. I can't even eat. After healing his wounds and coming to help again, I end up being cared for by Kadia. Thank you, Kadia. But Canis and Ignis come back once in a while, and this is their place to relax. In place of those two... Oh, you two are here. This is an interesting combination.
カヌスも妖精たちの救命を最優先としていますから。しばらくはそちらに専念することに。
Actually, it's never explained what exactly Venia's powers are. Like, we never saw them using magic. For some reason. As intermediaries for information, Dromi and Venia also come to enchant at regular intervals. And... Eel! Almost every day, without sleeping at night, Eel has been guarding me. Not seeing him for all this time, it's also concerning. To pull myself together, I lightly slap my cheeks. The gate. No, it's not. The bell in the front door rings. Who could it be? Maybe Linda? In that case, I need to greet him properly, so I fix my uniform straight in my bag. No! Ah! Be gone, demon! Please, someone knock him. Knock him on the head. Do it. Ah! That's good enough. In front of me, Kadia forcefully closes the door and shuts out the dark-skinned guests. Throw hot coffee in the door! Why is this the first time they make a mention of him being dark-skinned? What does that have to... Okay. Would you even be able to pay, huh? Do you even have money? Kadia goes to freeze the door to lock it shut, but... He couldn't refuse Rindo's request even though he was with Asmodeus. He still felt indebted to him, so he let them in the shop. So, Rindo, why is Asmodeus here? I heard he was arrested at the GPM on charges of human kidnapping.
一応このアスモデウスが今回の件で結構重要な情報を持っててね。
Okay.
なんかこう不本意なことに特例として外出許可が出ちゃったというか。
The demon war was in a terrible situation, so he can't really make it any worse. Reno says this to put us at ease, but... I fear that he'll actually grow on me in a kind of, I don't know, annoying, stubborn sense. Like he's just there. Absolutely not. Also, your castle is kaput. Like, you know, Rindu flirts with us to some extent. But like that was bearable, like in retrospect, because this guy... I'll pass. Naturally, for both myself and everyone else, his being here gives us mixed feelings. But he doesn't notice at all. He casually picks up a menu that was sitting on a table.
オーダーとやらをさせてもらおうか。
Okay.
メニューはお前のめ調理後は愛と真心を込めてあーんとお前の手ずから俺様の口に。
As he makes such an absurd order.
帰ってください。
With a sad voice, Eel shows his rejection.
何
Huh? Quite the unexpected remark. I double take alone with Karya and Rindo. Eel! Normally he shows no hostility or wariness, no matter who it is. What could this be so suddenly? Eel with a trembling voice reveals his reason.
あなたが琴音をさらったりしたからミシェルに異変が起きてアンシャンテに姿を見せなくなり
Growing
ま
like
した。
mold on stale bread.
このままミシェルが二度とここに来なくなって彼女と離別してしまったら私は
Ew. Eel is left hanging his head in a solemn despair.
なああんた、この光景を見てどう思う？
すごく胸が痛みます。
じゃあテンションちょっと下げておとなしくミーティングに参加してくれるよね。
分かった。
That actually worked. But yeah, I think anyone would feel like if Eel just very down in the dumps goes, hey, can you not? Like, that hurts my soul. That really hurts my soul. After consoling Eel and somehow getting him to agree to letting Asmodeus join us. Ah! Where did you come from?
ほぼ僕の推測と同じだね。
Hello? Oh, okay. Later, Mikado visits the shop after a while and meets up with us. We talk about what we're doing currently and what happened between us.
自称魔王ことミシェル・アレックス。
Rose, you like my love
彼
for
の出
Chimp
身世界は間違いなく天崎島や魔界、最近異世界に発生
I
してい
love
る
Chimkin Man.
あの亀裂型のホールの先にあると
He's a
断
very
言して
good
もい
boy.
いだろう。
He may be artificial
彼が天崎島の亀裂を
Kind of.
閉じることができたのも
and also several thousand years old, but he's a good boy.
自分の故郷から開いたからこそ干渉できたからかもしれないね。
どちらも根本的にはホールというだけあり、少々話の区別がつけづらいですね。そちらの方は完全に亀裂と呼び方を固めてしまっては。
So the dangerous tiers in space that connect to Mishia's world and annihilate everything around them are fissures, and the normal wormholes that connect to other worlds like Mishia will continue to be called wormholes?
それで良いかと。
Can we do another word? I feel like I'm pronouncing fissures wrong, but none of you have said anything yet, so maybe it's okay. At our exchange, Mikado, Rindo, and everyone also not in
し
agreement.
かし居場所が分かったからといってもろ手を挙げて喜ぶわけにもいかないのだよね。
は？
ベスティアやメディオで多発してる亀裂の話は彼らから聞いているね。
Yeah, Dromi and everyone talked about it. I'm not sure either.
ちなみに横入りするようだが、俺様が支配する魔界でももともと同様というかそれ以上のヤバい規模で発生していたぞ。魔界では以前からその亀裂とやらが異様な頻度で発生していた。
I mean, I can't even refer to the game because obviously they're not saying fissures, they're saying whatever the word is in
あちこ
Japanese.
ちの村や地域が相次いで丸ごと消滅してしまったのだ。
It seems this is the reason is why Asmodeus was motivated to plot an invasion of the human world.
それらの世界しかりホールが危険な亀裂へと変化する。
I only know the word from another game, they say pretty much like you do. Okay, I'm safe then.
その異変現在の人間界においていつ起きて
For
も不思議
once,
じゃ
New
ない
it doesn't mispronounce words they've never read before in their lives. Yes!
現に人間界でも
Read out
前
loud
兆
at
である
least.
ホールの多発そのものはすでに先日の一件から続いていますからね。
Ouch. Yale, now in his calm, usual manner, suggested to be strange that these anomalies we're discussing haven't already happened.
他の異世界のような亀裂の発生が世界中で始まったりしたら、まさにこの世の終わりってやつだね。
世界の終わり。
だから市場を抜きにしてもどうにかあの世界の住人であろうミシェル君とコンタクトを取りたい。
Makes sense.
ただ亀裂の先に彼がいると分かっても近づくだけで灰にされちゃあね。
Ricardo makes a surrendering gesture, saying he presently has no solutions. I guess not even the true route is safe from the typos and missing words and stuff. The meeting ends for the time being. Rindo, along with Mikado, stuff Asmodeus into a car, and after making preparations to leave, as he tries to get into the driver's seat, I stop him. Rindo, thank you very much for today. There's still a lot of mysteries about Misha, but after hearing from specialists, I think my feelings are more positive now. At least a little bit.
けど、礼を言うのはまだ早いよ。これからミシェルを捕まえて、君の前に引きずり出す作業があるわけだしさ。君に寂しそうな顔をさせた責任もしっかり取らせないとね。
I very like Rindo. He always enjoyed jabbing Misha with a dose of sarcasm, but I'm less sad and more frustrated.
悔しい。
Yeah, Misha he would come to my shop every day after all, so I could tell him what I wanted any time. That's what I thought anyway. About the lie he mentioned, about wanting to spend more time together, things of the heart. I wouldn't be able to say it with my own voice. I told myself that he comes every day, that I'd be able to tell him at any time. With these understandings as the reason I was entrusting everything to Misha. But now, because I can't see Misha, I can see how much I was depending on him to visit. It's really quite painful.
そっか。
That's why, if I get to see him again, I wouldn't hesitate to say everything. What I want to know, what I want him to tell me, what I want to tell him now. Several more days passed after that. Yeah. I mean, they won't be able to top the 1 year has passed since the ending of Eel's Route, I guess, but still. A slight moonlight pours over the night. Being careful not to kororo up! Yeah! Being careful not to kororo up. Unable to sleep late at night, I stand quietly at the counter. E was guarding me yet again tonight, but perhaps out of caring for my feelings, after I promised to call right away if anything happened. He's now waiting on standby in the backyard, ready to rush into the shop if needed. Well, I'm grateful to him. Misha didn't come again today. Saying this, I look down at my hands, and there's Misha's coffee cup, returned after the GPM investigation ended. My face reflecting in the blackness inside is gloomy. This pattern has been the same for days. I think maybe today Misha will come to visit and pump myself up to run the shop. Then at night, after he hasn't come, I get depressed and fall asleep. Misha not coming to the shop really is sad. Yeah, if he did come back, I'll tell him everything I couldn't while he was gone. That's right, and I'm sure Misha would smile like always, and then... You're just making yourself even more sad, Kotone. As I talk to myself, I trail off and let out a light sigh. While thinking about him, I naturally poured into his coffee cup coffee. But I don't feel like drinking it. All I do is stare intently as it sways on the counter.
どういう関係かで言えば喫茶店のマスターと客だね。だけど俺個人の感情で語るなら彼女は俺にとってあれ全世界で一番大切な女性。俺にとっての光でぬくもり居場所となってくれる人だ。
His fingers are so long.
だから少なくともお前なんかには間違っても渡すわけにはいかないね。
The most important. I don't know what kind of feeling he put into those words, but if he sees my existence as impactful enough to say something like that, I want to see him. I want him to come see me. Wishing for something like that might be selfish. To my prayer. A fissure before my eyes answers. Okay! That's just slightly scary. Ah!
これで新しい墓は全部
Hi.
なんなんだろう本当に最近ここに落ちてくる異世界のお客さんおもてなしどころか見とることしかできないんだけどな
I look at my hands. Of course they still have a terrible
一
form.
部ならなんとかってとこまでは回復したけど全身はまだ当分戻れないかな
Suddenly his voice is actually loud for the first time. Like, you know, I have my gripes with the voice acting, not the voice acting itself, but the way it was mixed, because you can barely hear them sometimes, even though I have the voices at the loudest it can and the BGM at the lowest it goes. But now that he's in his weird whatever form that is, just like, of course he's loud now. No, to be precise.
違うかあっちが偽物で
Oh, aren't you self-depreciating? Such self-derision escapes my lips. Also, even if I imitated a human form again, what would it change about the situation? In the end, I might just be afraid of returning to Enchanté. I'm sure everyone has realized the lie I was telling. Until now, I thought I could maintain this form as long as I abided by the conditions. What are the conditions, by the way?
ダメだ止まれ止まれ止まれ
A sudden manifestation. I barely avoided even turning her into ash. Again, if the same thing happens again at Enchanté, that would... just imagining it is far too terrifying. And the trigger for that was... this guy! From a fissure. No, it appeared from this world, that mysterious young man, even though this world shouldn't have any resident but me. After that I tried searching for his whereabouts, but as I imagined, no matter how much I searched this ashen land, I can't see so much as a shadow of him. I mean, we heard him say like, oh, that for some reason Misha cannot see or hear him. And also that he broke his promise to him. But Misha doesn't remember any promise. I mean, he doesn't even know the guy. But the guy knows Misha. So what's going on? However, if he disappeared again, the same thing would occur. I weighed my thoughts. In such a dangerous situation, I couldn't return to Enchanté, but my heart is opposite of my own warning. It's impossible. The more I think, the harder it is to stop. I miss it so much I just can't bear it. The days I spent at the shop, and more than anything, the woman there who's probably waiting for me. The most in the world and the most important person. As I was thinking this, for just a second I smelled something that made me nostalgic. I thought it was my imagination, but... Guided by the scent that drifted to me again, I threaded the ash, thinking it couldn't be so. This is strange. It can't be. In this world that scent shouldn't exist. A sweet yet bitter scent. I walk faster, and up ahead there's a small fissure that opened. Like the boundary of the world is tearing. Ahaha! Ahaha! That was... like a night before when I met the mysterious young man, the spectacle is an exact repetition. A fissure that opened in the air. Blowing from it is a terrible, rough, lukewarm wind. But strangely, that fissure doesn't cause the annihilation that's occurred in other worlds. It simply floats there, as though connecting me to something. It might be dangerous. Naturally, I'd feel that way. However, the yearning for the mere possibility makes me step forward without any hesitation. There's no mistake. I would never mistake it. The voice leaking from beyond the fissure. Misha! Ah! Both our voices cut through the wind. The sound is a kiss crossing the fissure. His laughing voice that spills through is mixed with both surprise and joy. His form hasn't changed since we parted in the demon world, but this way of talking, there's no mistake. It's him, the one I've been wanting to see. Misha's big body shakes and he sighs from a mouth I can see.
普段から俺たちのことラスボスとかすごいとか言ってるけどさ、君の方がよっぽどすごいよ。こんな奇跡を起こしちゃうなんて。
I was shocked too.
どうしたの？そんな泣きそうな声で。
Because my regular customer who would come visit me every day just stopped showing up completely. Of course, I'd be worried, right?
君はまだ俺のこと
Yeah.
アンシャンテの常連だって思ってくれてるの。
Listen, some other time I fought God. Well, not me, but I was there when we fought God, so...
嘘をついていたことも知って、こんな醜い姿まで探したのに。
Of course I do. After all, your existence is already part of my daily life, Misha. If you aren't nearby, I just can't find peace. Of course, there are lots of things I want to ask about you, but more importantly, I wonder how you're doing now. I wonder things like that every single day, so no matter what shape you take, I'm just so happy to see you again. Misha, where are you right now? Is that really your...
ここが俺の世界。本当の。
Misha speaks softly. The form he takes in front of me now really is his true form. His usual form is nothing but a temporary vessel restraining the power that turned the demon-kind castle to ash. The power operates outside his will, weathering all around him indiscriminately. Life, attacks, even walls. Before him everything turns to ash. Well, damn. Such an amazing power can't be held back easily. That's why Misha returns to his world every night, as he needs to return to his true form. In his original world, he's forced to take that form. During that time, he continues using magic on himself to imitate human form again. Passing through the gate to the human world after this, Misha dons his usual form. That's the mechanism. However, this mimicry is not powerful and it does have a time limit. Magic used by Misha to hold back the Ashen power in his strange form. By using his magic and traveling to another world, he takes the usual form of Misha. However, there's a time limit to how long he can keep his form. Okay. His true form appeared last time because that day's time limit of 21 was approaching. He should have still had about an hour's time, but the mysterious young man's calling sped up the removal of his mimicry. The reason Misha can't live at Enchanté, why he couldn't guard me at night, was all because of that. Huh! Well, I guess I was wrong about the whole, I don't know, time loop thingy. Well, maybe not. There's still a bunch more to go. But the reason he returns every night is because he wanted to keep up his form. That's okay. So that was the reason. After hearing it all, I tell him that Canis and everyone along with the demons were all safe. He breathes a sigh of relief, but his voice is tinted with regret. What?
この力が万が一暴走したらどれだけ危険なのか、それを俺は理解していながら黙ってた。もしそれを調べたらあのアンシャンテに君に会えなくなると思って。
It's not too selfish. He laughs, but it's so sad. Misha is about to say more, but I stop him. And next to the fissure, being careful not to spill what's sitting on the counter, I move it to where he could see through the fissure. Here you go. That was... No, it's tea, obviously. Yeah, the one you said was delicious every time you drank it. That blend. After all, Misha, I know you really love coffee. And I'm sure it was tough not being able to drink it lately. Oh, but you have the power of yours, so you can take it? I suddenly remember that, but Misha slowly shakes his head. Tea or coffee? Coffee. Wrong, it's tea. With a look of nervousness, he extends his hand towards the fissure. Then just a part of his hand coming through the fissure changes into his usual fingertips. Aha! He gently lifts the cup to take it back into the fissure. As he said, even in a world where all becomes to ash, the cup will not change form. It's just there, held in Misha's hand. I'm sorry, but the general idea of him just standing behind there be a crack in the wall is very funny to me. It's a horrible situation, but it just looks so funny. Changes everything to ash. True, that's a fearsome power, but the you that you are now and the you at Enchanté, they're both Misha to me. That's why, despite knowing nothing, I wouldn't be afraid of you. Even now, you are the Misha Rex I like. It's bleh. Hold on. Even now, you're the Misha Rex I like it. Hello? Just a kind demon king who loves coffee. Wanda could tell me the truth about meeting me when I was little, so we could probably prevent something bad happening during the next few chapters. Ever since when? Ever since when? Misha's arm trembled so much he could drop the cup if he eases up. Since then? What is it? Then what are the conditions for coffee to become your favorite?
Oh, それはね。
That's
内緒。
Wait, is that... Before I can ask him the meaning, the fissure in space lets out a whine. I'm sure that's a sign that it's about to start closing. Before the moment disappears completely, Misha begins to raise his voice. It's a promise that he come back to Enchanté with a smile. Yeah, at the counter. I have a lot of things to talk to you about too. So, I'll be awaiting your next visit. Trusting in that promise, I said this with a smile, and from the gap in the fissure, Misha is about to disappear from sight. He declares it with a soft voice. What kind of sound was that? The fissure closes. Closely, slowly! Closely, slowly! Ah! Alright, that's a funny one. Cruelly and mercilessly severing my connection to her. In my hand, much like when I met her, the cup is safe with the coffee inside. Before the contents turn to ash, I take a sip of it with my obscured mouth. I don't even know where it is exactly. I know it's self-interest on my part. Despite just realizing how dangerous and hideous I am, out of sheer excitement I promised to go back to Enchanté. I know, for me, how foolish that choice was, but at least, one last time I want to see her at the shop, and at least part ways with her properly. The last time, huh? With her making this coffee for me, I've become so terribly greedy. My feelings for Kotona won't stop welling up. Those little feelings that live deep in my chest, they warm my heart. It makes me desire anything and everything. That's why... Excuse me. When I utter something I'd given up on tens of thousands of years ago. What do you mean, back to human? A voice reaches me. At first I thought it was the wind, but I was wrong. Can you even see that text on the on the stream because the brown is so hard to read. It's muffled, but it's clearly the voice of someone. I'm dumbfounded with a surprise at a tone that shouldn't exist in this world. I look around, but I see nothing besides grave markers and storms of ash. Yeah, you can see it, okay. But the voice remains unchanged, as though resounding through space to me. Yeah, okay. The text on the white guy was a lot harder to read. Okay. How's my phone holding up? My phone is telling me that I haven't done Duolingo yet today. But I think, yeah, it's alright. It could be worse. Dark feelings fall. I return a question to the voice's owner, but it seems my response was meaningless. For some reason, the voice only speaks of dark hatred for me. A massive earthquake that shouldn't exist in this world shakes my footing. Ah, what? Hey, yo! Hello? A night passes after my chance meeting with Misha through the fissure. It's a relief, it wasn't a dream. I guess that I can, though, that was missing one cup and feel okay. Last night was real. I saw Misha. Of course, there's still many mysteries and questions relating to him and the anomalies in other worlds now, but for now, just the fact it gives me a sense that the unease swirling inside me has reduced a little bit. When I tell everyone about what happened last night, their mood is calmer than before, too. You know what I really like is how they all care for us, even if it's not their respective roots. Like, they care for our well-being a lot. Because in a bunch of games, like, if you're not on their own route, they just really don't care about you, or you have nothing to do with some of the guys, and it's like, so we wouldn't get along unless we're dating? That's kind of sad. Yes, thanks to that, although I think it's simple-minded of me.
それだけミシェルとの再会が嬉しかったってことでしょ。俺らもミシェルのこと心配してたし、正直ほっとしてる。
カヌスたちが戻ってきたら一歩前進したことを報告しないとね。
Diddy! Corrado seems happy too, slapping his tail fins on a table in a cheery rhythm. Alright, Eel left for the GBM early this morning, but he was happy to hear my story too.
鼻歌混じりに出て行ったよね。イルって確か今日はあの変人の手伝いに行ってるんだっけ?
Yeah, to tell the truth, from a little while back, Mikado was thinking this out. By combining Eel's magic with GBM technology, if a big fissure occurs in the human world, apparently it might be possible to figure out the location ahead of time. Kadia grants at his notion. It would be best if such a fissure didn't occur, though.
イルが夜には戻ってこれるよう、僕の方で彼を送迎するから、夜の護衛の件は安心して。
Wait, doesn't Solitus exist in this route for some reason? Like, obviously it exists, but like as Mikado's assistant? Nothing has happened to Eel yet. Like about, oh, return to your own world. So I'm a bit on the fence. Yes, thank you very much. Just then there's a vibration sound from Windows Pocket notifying an incoming call. Windows says sorry for interrupting, presses the accept call button.
Hello, hello! Enchantéのマスターとついでにリンド。ご機嫌いかがかな？
ご機嫌よ。
僕は打天使という超レア な人外が臨時助手となってくれたことでご機嫌かつ有頂天ハッピーだよ。
Of course you are.
今なら後ろからこっそり羽の一本くらい抜いてもバレないよね。
I think he would notice even if you didn't say it out loud.
噂をすればってやつだね。
Probably because he wants to talk to us all, Rindo had quickly switched to speaker mode. What is it, Mikado? Did something happen to Il after he got over there?
ああ、いや、別件。彼への協力要請とはまた別に、ちょっとしたお願いが君にあってね。
Help! For me?
リンドやイル君から君がミシェル君と再会した話を聞いてね。どうも君のいるアンシャンテにはミシェル君がいた影響からか例の亀裂が発生しやすいようだ。
True.
だからもしまた同様の現象、亀裂が再び発生したらこっちもその反応を観測したいんだよ。
Okay. How? Would you like to do that? According to his explanation, he completed the analysis of Misha's coffee cup data that I had lent him before, and identified the same compounds from the ash that had remained on Asmodeus' arm. In other words, those compounds should be related to Misha himself or his world. So he wants to input the compound data onto special devices and install them around the Enchanté Gate and other places. If the fissures in space occur and the same compounds enter from them, in response, the main device, the GPM, will activate. It would automatically collect useful data for predicting fissure locations. That's how it works. In addition, those devices also have a function of recording sound from around them. Without sounds that signal a fissure opening or Misha's voice could be heard, etc. Not just the atmosphere, it would allow thorough investigation of every possible clue. Oh, that's good. That's great. Technology. Woo! It's about everything. Mikado claps his hands on the other end.
そのための機材を今からというか、
to your assistant.
助手君に持たせて、
Aha!
に向かわせてる
Oh, I was just thinking about your assistant.
彼が来店したら、アンシャンテのあちこちに配置してもいいかな。
Your assistant? Ah, could he mean how did man I met at the GPM before? From what I heard, it seems like he knows most of our circumstances here. Then I shouldn't have a reason to refuse. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks! With an energetic announcement of gratitude, Mikado hangs up the call. It seems like we're moving forward little by little.
このまま異世界の異変の件も含め、
Aha, Karia, we still have 3 chapters to go and I don't know how much of this one is still left, so it won't be over that fast. After that, Rindu returned to the GPM. During that time, Karia and Kododo stayed with me. Hi. Oh, you're Mr. Assistant, right? I had talked to Mikado about the plan, so please feel free.
では前回にかけて適切な場所に機材を配置させて
Please don't steal our angel while you're at it. Like, I would very much appreciate not another, you know, the same thing happening again. Next to the excitable Mikado, I think he makes a good balance. The assistant goes around all the rooms and halls installing their devices from Mikado. After that, without any particular notice, he leaves the shop. Kanye also goes back home before nightfall. As not changing places with him, Il returns from the GPM to work as my night guard. With that, a rather busy day ends, right when it's about to hit 22. In my own room, I reflect on the day's events as I hold Kododo. He said it would take some time for him to return to human form. Maybe Bisha will come visit after about 3... Yeah, of course! Kotone, if I remember correctly, I think around 2 weeks have passed since the original time, and what we've seen is that only his hands had changed. After 2 weeks. I don't think 3 days is enough time. This time Kododo makes a positive cry of agreement rather than consolation. After I pet Kododo, I go to change my clothes to sleep when... A rather intense sound rings from outside. What was that sound? Il should be standing in front of my room guarding me. Il, did something happen? I get curious and try calling to him through the door. Il? I get a weird feeling when he doesn't reply, so I try calling again.
私に何か用事でも?
This time he immediately replies to me through the door. Yeah, I was just a bit curious about a big sound.
ああ、それですか。お恥ずかしいことに、下の階、店のゲート付近から妙な音を感知したことで、驚き思わず体勢を崩してしまったのです。
What? From the gate?
ええ、試しに探ってみましたが、この魔力と気配は間違いなくミシェルかと。
I'm sorry, couldn't you just open the door? Michel. But he said it would take time for him to go back to normal, and it's dangerous at night, so I set the gate to
ミ
close.
シェルの技量ならば、多少期間が短縮されてもおかしくはありません。
Are you sure? Along with the plate, he should be able to forcibly open it. Eel says to someone vacantly.
彼が帰ってきたのですから、どうか出迎えてあげてください。
What?
私は自室にて待機していますから。
What? Without waiting for my reply, it seems he left the front of my room. If Misha came back, Eel should want to see him too. After all, he was waiting for him to visit every day. Ah, maybe he heard our conversation last night and he's being considerate. No! No, Kotone, this is a trap! There is no way that was a real eel. In that case, I don't want to disregard his consideration, and I really want to go see Misha as soon as he comes back too. Oh, also, I should make coffee for him again. Kododo, I'll be going for a bit. Holding back my impatience, I head straight for the room with the gate. Don't. Not a real tragedy happens. The one could. Eel held a conversation through the door with Kotone. After finishing the conversation, he immediately moves to the second floor. There, without hesitation, he enters his objective room. The true angels with pure white wings on their backs under his command nod in silence. In the center of the room, spread on the floor, a small pool of blood. A certain individual was restrained, his limbs and neck included, his whole body tangled up in threads of light stretching from thin air. Yeah!
淡き琴音の誘導の成功を確認。
You stupid fucking... I refrained myself from saying out loud what I wanted to say. The man who called himself Eel dispels all of his imitation spells that were hiding his true identity. And the real Eel knows the name of the imposter. Not again! Despite the threats constricting his throat, Eel utters the name of the angel before him.
案ずるな、断罪の使徒。当個体にあの人間を害する意志はない。ゲートの前と誘導したのは、単にあの場が防音に優れ、隔離に適した空間のため、すべてはお前の返しを悟らせぬための。
However, saying the Solitus makes an addition as to a warning Eel.
あくまでお前が抵抗しなければの話だが。
If Eel resists, he can't guarantee the safety of Kotone is what it means.
もっとも、我が槍による強制命令に。
No! Listen! Listen, I started liking you at the end of Eel's route because you came around, okay? Everyone else has also been very nice. Dromi is not doing any of his stupid fuck shit of turning Ignis into a monster. And Venia has never been really bad at all. And also Mikado is being very nice. So don't do this right now. Don't! Despite indifferently speaking of his objective to Eel, this apostle is a symbol of fear. The being also called the right hand of God, to think they would meet in the human world. Rather... to think he'd be attacked. Solitus made use of the request for Mikado to install the devices to hide Rosarius for special teleportation in various places. Using those, he made his move to recover Eel. Of course he would. I mean, that's what he did in the other route as well. It was a complete surprise attack. Eel desperately tries to keep breathing in frustration at his failure to perceive it.
では展開に戻るぞ。断罪の使徒よ。
No!
再接続は後ほどとし、まずは我らが神と再会せよ。
No!
今展開には 未曾有の危機が訪れている。その本来の姿に戻ったお前の力が必要。
Reconnection, original form. Eel instantly understands the meaning and his face goes pale. At the same time that Eel tries to somehow squeeze out a voice.
術式を再度展開。
No!
展開続くホール付近への転送を開始する。
No! Eel's figure, along with Solitus and the other angels, are all engulfed in rising light and vanish. Ah! This is what I get for mentioning him before. Like a few minutes ago. Like, oh, he hasn't shown up in a while, blah blah blah. I entered the aid room as Eel urged me to, but... Huh? Inside the room is just the gate standing alone by itself. There's nobody here? I looked around and behind it, but there's no sign of anyone. I checked the plate in the end, but it's still unchanged except to closed. Could Eel have been half asleep? Now that I think about it, Eel hasn't slept for several days to guard me. Maybe his fatigue finally showed itself today. In that case, next time Kano's Ignis comes back, we should let him rest. Thinking this, I go to leave the room. Aha! Aha! There's a sound at my back. When I wonder what it is and turn away, turn towards the gate. I had it! As though flung, the plate flips over to open. What? Then the doorbell drops its light tone in the dimly lit room.
やっと。やっと会えた。
Mishi. What came leaping out from it was the man I've been waiting to see. The hands he extends. I'm captured in his arms without any time to be surprised. Then, as though being embraced, I'm pulled in by him to the other side of the gate. No! No! That's not Misha. No, that may be his body, but that's not Misha. No. Fuck! But I have to stop here. It's 11 p.m. I have to stop. Also, this is the first and like the only time that the chapter change comes right in time. No, what? That's the other guy who took over Mishia's body last time we saw him. It's also why he said, "Oh, I finally meet you." No. I hate it. I hate it. I want to continue, but I can't. I can't because I need to go to work tomorrow. We still have like so much more to go. We're still missing 3 screens on the ones that are not a specific route for some reason. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you look very welcoming. But like rather, I like Mishi's true form a bit. Like character-wise, I do trust him again now. Now I'm more scared of the other guy. Like I won't take it back completely, like my mistrust of Mishi, because like dude, you could have told us and we would have accepted you, no problem. But now we're gonna have some trouble with some other dude who is probably even more powerful than Misha and now has his body, and they're both from that weird ash world where everything dies. I don't like it. I really did not think this game was this long. Yeah. True. I I don't know for how long we've played it so far, but if we think about it, every one of my streams was like at least 3 hours. And I think this is like our 19th stream of it. Or 20th maybe, actually. Wait, wow, we're gonna hit 60 hours at some point, I guess. If we didn't already. Ooh. But yeah. That shall be it for today. But maybe actually, you know, we're now at chapter 4, so maybe the chapters are not that long. Because while he has 6 chapters, we actually got through 3 of them in one go today. While for Ignis' route, for example, we barely got through 1 chapter sometimes. So God, woo! Okay! Wow! Wowie! Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I hate myself for having to take a break here or make a stop here. I'm gonna talk a little more, but I'm gonna put on my ending song. Hold on, just a second. It's not playing for some reason. Please play. There we go. Because the next stream for this is planned for Sunday, as always. Because tomorrow we'll be playing Portal 2. My first collab. If you look at my schedule, my first collab will be playing tomorrow, and then Friday and Saturday is Persona 5 again. So we'll have to stay strong. We'll have to stay strong. But I'll show you this game again on Sunday. Let's fucking go, yeah! Thank you for coming by tonight. Let me turn on the ending screen. Ta-ta-ta! There we go. I hope I can watch tomorrow. Yeah! I hope tomorrow will go well. I'm gonna be real honest with you. We didn't test out anything yet. It's gonna be crazy. but that's okay. It's okay. That's what collabs are for. I am so ready to completely fail in Portal 2. I haven't played Portal 2 in years. So we shall see what that's going to be like. And Moriko has not played Portal 2 ever. So I hope you're looking forward to it. I know I am. But for now, thank you very much for coming today. Never been able to watch any of Moriko's streams because they're so late. Oh, me too. Me too. I barely catch any of her streams. Like I can't even give her shoutouts or anything, or like rate her unless it's my weekend streams, because we never even overlap. Like she starts an hour from now, and that's too late for me as well, and we're in the same time zone. But yeah, that's why I'm making her do it tomorrow at my time, so more people will get a chance to watch maybe. But yeah, for now it is nighttime. She's been playing games I really want to watch. Yeah, but she does plan on uploading her VOD, so you can catch up sometime maybe. For now, because my ending song will be over before I finish saying what I'm trying to say. Wah! Right. Thank you for coming today. We're getting close to the end. I wish you all a good night. Thank you. And bye bye.